second. Let's come up. Let y'all fire. Jump in. Let y'all jump in. I'm gonna give y'all a good hour, maybe a little bit longer. And yeah, that does. It ain't gonna be no. Oh, well, if I say an hour, it must be 10 hours. No, we're not doing that. Just giving my kind of daily rant. Like I said, I really need to get more into doing uploads. I actually got some really cool software to put some really cool shit together in a way that y'all haven't seen before from anybody else. Um, but I do need to start putting these uploads together. Yeah, but these, and it's gonna be interesting because I'm trying to think. I'll probably end up migrating these live streams to be more Instagram. Had the haircut to be more Instagram. Um, and then keep my YouTube. I'm interested. I gotta do a poll to see if it's applicable more on Instagram. But anyway, I'll say something that I hear a lot of. I've heard black women say, like he always does, as far as brainwashing from your mothers. And the interesting thing is, I never actually got that from mine. I have just brothers, and we were never influenced as to who to date. And yeah, my middle brother and my younger brother both dated white women, and I never really brought a non-black woman as far as for my mom to meet her. Some mixed women, but they all end up dating, black women. All of us for the most part. Now we date. My brother's been a kind of a long term relationship. He lives with his girlfriend. My youngest brother is doing what he's doing. But the last few, know, I gotta do. But what he really jumped out, like talking about, if we purple for the France black women, this would be the type of shit that I would expect black men to like really G check black like a woman on for saying this. So and dudes have brought Roger to his credit, and it's not just Roger. Grown Man Business has brought this up. He's alluded to this. There are dudes that allude to this, and they may say it directly or they may say it indirectly. But I know the feelings out there as far as okay, Kevin. Shout out to Kevin. He's at 680. He's within 43, so he's about to break 40. And yeah, I like paying attention to stuff like that. But Kevin's only talking about the high value man. And regardless of if people listen to him or not, and he does allude to average men getting average men, a lot of dudes have this thing about he's like an average man is a consolation prize. Like the average man is supposed to accept bullshit. So if you listen to that show and that show's as popular as Kevin's is, this is the communique that women are getting. That average men are for high value men can do whatever the fuck they want, and average men are for, basically the fuckery. And Kevin doesn't say this, and he does address it a little bit. But I definitely can understand why dudes think that way. And I definitely will say, even though his audience doesn't aim towards average men, the reality is kind of like in marketing, you always play two things against each other. I get why it's this back and forth where dudes kind of feel some type of way or why that's an issue. And there is nobody really saying the average black man. Because let's be clear here. If you make 50,000 or higher, if you make 45,000 higher, you're in the upper side of that median. If you make 50,000 or higher, you're not just close. You're pretty good. You're in the top 25% of black men. Now we can argue cost of living and 50,000 how far as that go in Cali and all. I understand that every black person ain't in the top most expensive cities. Every black person ain't in DC, New York, although it's a lot of black people in New York, I won't lie, or California. So these or San Francisco or Miami, all these, even Chicago, all these expensive things don't really account for everybody. That's just what it is. So, and then you have to look at what also when you look at what the buyer wants, in this case we'll say the buyer's black women, if you're making 50,000 but you're 6 foot and over, you are in the top 14% of that genetic marker for height, which we know black women want more than other groups of women. Height is a universal beauty marker for all women, not taking nothing away. But we know black women want that at a greater rate than what other women. Other women prefer it, but they will go down on that a little bit quicker if other things are in the mix. Versus, even as Danielle Concrete have said, when black women are more visual than other groups of women. They've even admitted to that, and that's not debated in the black community, which is also masculine as fuck. That's a masculine trait. So that ego shit, all that shit is black community being reversed. And what people don't understand is the black community being reversed gives men advantages in a greater dating market and gives women disadvantages. So one thing the BGS said is a lot of the stats as far as, these dating websites and this data, because you got to see the video. I'm not going to go through the video because the way he articulates the story is really great with the white woman shit. We all know the stats talk about black women less desire. What black women like to believe is they're the least desired just because they're black, and because their color, their features. I'm not going to say that has nothing, that's not a good part of it. But I would argue that the probably a greater part of it is black women's reputation. Black women are not considered to be feminine. And whether that we could argue that's true or not, you're not going to lie to me. No black woman that's going to be honest is going to tell me that black women have the greatest reputation. And then you have to ask, well, why is that? Well, the media. We could argue a lot of things, but most of these guys are basing their opinions based on how they approach, how you act and how they see you act. And all the media that even if I blame the media, all the media that black women that makes black women look bad or look masculine is media that's all supported by black women. I would challenge anybody to show me media that's not supported by a majority of black women that's out there that doesn't make black women look bad as far as in the eyes of these non-black groups. I would challenge you to show me anything that's out there that is not financially supported. When I say financially supported, I mean supported in ratings and commercials. You won't find it. So it's something that's voted for by a cook. And then on top of that, I would then challenge you to show me media that you have a sizable contingent of black women, a minority of black women really speaking against that other black women look at. Reality TV, the TV shows, the showcase black women of a certain look. That's not the most favorable look. That's not the most prettiest black women, although there's exceptions to this rule. You don't see that. So at the end of the day, they're okay with it to the extent that they control. So it's all your fault because black men don't control the media. And then even when you look at hip hop and rap, that's a small part of it, and that's bullshit. To say that's the greater media, because that's a small part of the greater media apparatus that showcases black people. And I'll argue amongst the ones that women directly control, which is most of it, a lot more than men. Even when you look at rappers, women and white people support the rap industry a lot more than black men. Black men are extremely small market. Black men don't drive the market. Anything we drive is in the underground for the most part. So it goes one way. That's my point. So coming back to this idea that the average man, and you got to understand when you say average does not just mean money. I want you all to understand that. Average means in a lot of critical beauty markers like height and shit, looks, money is a factor, status. So you can be above income, like you can make $80,000, but if you're just like a plumber or shit, you have below average quote unquote status. That shit shouldn't matter, but in the black community it does. When these bitches are just out here fucking, clearly their priorities are not straight. Now, obviously, Danielle Concrete got somebody. So I'm talking about more the greater thing. And like I've told you about Danielle Concrete, they kind of, it's like they go to Congress and then they speak for what the other bitches think, basically. So even though in their own personal life, this is not represented in how they live their life, technically, they still like that's where the breakdown comes. So they have to speak for the other women that they identify with. So this is not personal to them, but so when stupid shit like that comes out of their fucking mouths, I know. Oh, when it comes down to it, they're not actually acting on this information. They're not. This is some shit. This is like Beyonce. This is some shit that she sings and dances to sell it to the rest of the females because she know that's what y'all like to buy. But when it cuts, shout out to David Carroll. Y'all need to check out that rabbit hole because he breaks that down. He actually breaks down a Beyonce song. But as far as is this the shit she buy? No. Same thing with Cardi B. She may be a hoe, and she's cool with selling that to your daughters, but she's not cool with her daughter watching it. And you all buy into this because folks are fucking stupid. And that's true for black men and black women and people in general. People in general are fucking dumb. Not just any particular group. So anyway, coming back into this, making it so I want this to understand it's just not money. That's just what it always comes back to on Kevin Samuels' show. But understand, Kevin Samuels is not average height. He's not average in income. I assume women like the way he looks is why they call. You're not gonna tell me ugly nigga is gonna have that kind of success. Now, yeah, you have like, Tommy, but Tommy's over the top. Some people would say Kevin is too, but you get what I'm saying. We know how the community rolls and what are the metrics you have to have generally, especially if you got a lot of women particularly listening to you. So this idea of average, let me kind of reset the tone. Black women are below average, on average. The only thing that black women and women in general have is a pussy. And that pussy only has power because of men have a sexual biological need to reproduce. And testosterone is like a male hormone that pretty much drives that. So the more you have, the more valuable that can have. And then you have this thing called thirst, which is the problem of sexual access, where you need a woman. This is where that dude that I did the stream about the other day, when it comes to broken sexual selection, this is why men can't be hoes. Because women can just open their legs and dicks come in because of that reason. This is why old bitches can't do that. Because once they have sexual marketplace value, that once that goes away, I mean, I'm not saying that y'all don't know. I'm just laying setting the table. But if a man can harness and basically deal with sexual access, he can solve the problem of sexual access. Some people can argue this through incel shit with porn. Some people can argue this with tricking. Some people can argue this with overseas. Some people can argue this with game. As far as I'm fucking concerned, whatever. If dudes solve that problem, then if they can flip the table and they have more access and they're less, it doesn't matter. Even if you argue the value, because because dudes cheat all the time, they don't have money. Because they flip this and there's other commodities that women want in men, that black women want in men, predicated on their values, and then their outcomes are predicated on that. This is why they bitch after the fact. But this idea that the average man has no right to ask for nothing, the only reason why they can say that, this is black men's fault. This is our fault. This is 130% our fault. I want you to understand that. The only reason why they can even say that and say that with a straight face is because black men like fucking fat bitches. Black men like fucking dirty bitches. Black men like fucking bitches that got 5 different kids with 5 different bitches. You got a lot of niggas that they want to fuck for food and shelter, which I understand you got to do what you got to do. And what black men tend to do is because they're comfortable, they stay. And BGS says something that's really poignant too, that this is a Xer and millennial thing. The Zillennials and the Gen Alpha will not have this problem. You will not hear women. You will not hear women like this saying this in the Zillennial Gen Alpha, because they're not even gonna be talking to black women like that. That is not something that I hope will happen. That is not something that I look forward to seeing if a God willing, I get to a certain age. But if you look at where the trends are going, and you can look at the media, I'm sure you all, if you all watch any kind of TV, you've seen these commercials. They're showing black men and white women now. And that should tell you. I told you all a couple of years ago, if you start seeing commercials where they're showing multiple black men and white women, now you know they're serious about this woman of color shit. What Xanatos Clutch is talking about with light skin, communitized shit. You know that shit is serious. You know they're not playing. They're starting to let everything up, and now they're serious about wanting to merge the black community. They're not playing. Because now it's like, okay, we wanted to give black women an advantage with these white motherfuckers. They're not biting, so we need to go ahead and hurry this shit up. And what's going to happen is when you look at genetic currency and social currency, people are going to do what they do, and then the black community is going to be left with the bag because we don't address what needs to be addressed. Even your pro-blacks refuse to address what needs to be addressed. What they want is they want for people to basically date black, and there's literally no value in that other than you should just do it to do it. There literally is no baseline. And I know that's what they want to do because they're not addressing the problem. They're not addressing what the real issue is. You have some black women that are on point. We can argue 20%, and those women are getting married, but you can't, but that's not, but the community is going to get smaller because, truth be told, you have issues in the majority. And it's not to say men don't have their faults, but the difference is men face real consequences for their faults. And the men that do have faults are still able to get sexual access. Now, people will then say, well, you're just hating. No, I'm not hating because I'm responding to the outcomes that people are bitching about. Like, see, if women weren't bitching about outcomes, it wouldn't matter. If women wouldn't be at the table if they were completely happy with how things are going. They're mad because the people that they select based on broken sexual selection are basically not changing for them, and they don't understand why. So then they want to try to go and cobble together resources by other places and make deals by other places. But because those are deals they don't want to make, and black women are not pragmatic because they got too much ego in the game, now it's going to come to a situation where they're not even going to have those deals to make. This is what I talk about when I say musical chairs. They're not going to have those deals to make. That people are looking at what's going on now, and they're not paying attention to what's going on, what's going to go on later. People are not paying attention to what 2010 looked like versus what it looks like now. And then how COVID does not accelerate that. So, and this is all comes back to that. Y'all may have seen some of these videos talk about that video that TikTok chick was making, where she was talking about, oh well, black men don't like black women anyway. And the shit that women tell themselves because they can't handle rejection because, again, they can't handle shit. So, but that's one of a few reasons why I don't like. I really stopped going to a breakdown like that. Cause shit like that, if they would say shit like that with me around, oh yeah, that would have been a problem. Because a lot of the dudes that go over there, I would have really broke down like what would even possess somebody to say some crazy shit like that. The average man. The average man. And then the thing that I would ask, I'll say, okay, well, let me look at who these women are having children with. Think about it. If you look at the stats as far as X amount of black men, black boys can't fucking read, and they're way out of pocket at X amount of level. Now, let's say that it's not the women's fault. Somehow, even though the kids are under their purview. Well, do you think that you're choosing an above average man? Do you think that the single motherhood rate? See, if you play the game of nothing's a black woman's fault and then everything's a black man's fault, okay, if the kids ain't shit, do you think that's a result of you all choosing above average men? Is that a result of you all choosing effective men? So if we blame everything on the men, because at the end of the day, women in my age group had the ability to abort. You choose to have kids with these men. So if these men are trash, these are the men you're choosing. So at least on the argument, you all are not getting above average men. Because I assume the women you choose, the men you choose to have kids with, are Kendra D said this. Those are the best men you can get, and I'm talking about women in general. Those are the best men you can get. And when you look at women that they wait until they're in their late 30s or early 30s, I mean, if it's not you, this goes back to Kendra G. If it ain't you, then that's telling me you can't get. If it's really the men, then it's telling me you can't get the men you want. See, it always comes back. It can't be nothing's your fault because math just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. Either you can't get the men that are at your level. It's not even at your level. You can't. Your level is what the best men you can get. That's what your level is. They always say in auctions they say what something's worth. What something's worth is what somebody is willing to pay for it. Now we can project what something's worth, but at the end of the day, it's what somebody's willing to pay for it is what something's worth. When it comes down to it, you can say your house is worth X amount, but no, it's what somebody's willing to pay for at the end of the day. And this argument, because this is an argument, I've heard people say it, and I've kind of, it's not. I really don't feel like making that argument because I think there's better people that can make this argument. To be honest, but yeah, it is this idea. The only reason why black women have the ability, the average man has better options than the average black woman. Just because you can get fucked by no nothing niggas. See, here's the thing. Men's options are predicated on who they can get to have sex with them. Women's options are built on who can you get to commit resources to you. That's what your value is. Any nigga, you can open your legs and say, I'm open for business to get fucked, and you can get fucked. Anybody can do that. Any female can do, most females can do that. Fat ogre bitches can get fucked. But the question is, are you able to get a security blanket around you? Now, OnlyFans makes things a little bit different. Shout out to that Kevin Samuels video on Fresh and Fit, where those white bitches would just, and that other black chick would just own some other shit. But, so that's a little bit different. Because again, that's you basically selling sex. And this is why women that sell sex are not as respected as women that can get a man to secure. And so now we got women that are basically strippers. And I'm glad Kevin said it just like that. He said, you're a fucking online stripper. And by the way, because they were arguing that, oh, well, OnlyFans hasn't been around 10 years. I'm like, well, cam modeling has been. And we can look at cam modeling, and OnlyFans is just a precursor to that. The only difference between OnlyFans and cam modeling is cam modeling was more desktop based, and OnlyFans is more the phone. I mean, it's basically the meeting of where the smartphone is and the tablets are with the current market. That's the biggest difference. So basically, men created a situation where even the dumbest broads, all they got to do is take their breast pictures and their ass pictures that they had in their phone anyway and commoditize them. That's what men did. And by the way, the dudes that did that are usually coders that you all wouldn't want to have sex with. Social media is brought to you by coders you wouldn't want to have sex with. The very men you don't value are men that basically create all this social media and all this stuff that women use today. That women wouldn't even, most of the value that women have about themselves today is predicated on things that are built by men that women don't even value. Make that make sense. And again, that mentality is a mentality you could only really have in the West, particularly in the United States of America. So, and this is the thing why I don't take a lot of people seriously, because people will sit here and say, well, the average man. Well, if a dude is 6'2" and he makes $60,000, that's not an average man. That's not an average black man. And we know you all can't go to other races like that. And this is why I keep saying that this is why I'm for a libertarian dating market. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that's going to really solve this problem is if people start really being shown you can be left out here. Like, for real. That's the only thing that's going to really get people going to have some act right about them. Think about it. COVID had black women weren't really coming to the table like that. COVID had to show them what a world would be like if shit ever really hit the fan and there ain't no men around. They had to be shown that because the society keeps people in this lullaby state in order to basically get them to do what you want to do. And then a lot of times, by the time these women wake up, and shout out to Jada Black because he did a video talking about this when it comes to the real and how women they artificially make other women masculine as a way to try to terraform the dating market to fit their needs. And other women don't really. There's not enough pushback from other women really. And what happens is you have people in a sphere where they say they want to get in this space and then say, oh, they're on their team, but they keep on playing these. And I jumped on Georgia Boy about this and Gabe about this. These fucking contrarian arguments that are fucking dumb. Like for real. Like it's oh well, the average man can't do shit. What would you act like you fucking dudes that make $100,000 or more? Jason, one thing that Jason Black, I will give him credit for, is Jason Black used to ask women, what's the most expensive dick that's ever entered you? He didn't say that like straight like that, but he said, what is the wealthiest man you dated? Even women in California, it was like 80, 90,000. Maybe one time they got a hold of somebody that made like 120. Most of y'all are not tapping are not even getting sex from dudes that are paid like that. Like, for real. And so some of the arrogance that black women have is like a lot of y'all are more arrogant than white men. Like seriously. That like a lot of y'all like, and it's not even arrogance. It's not arrogance. It's really narcissism. A lot of black women are undiagnosed narcissists. Like I was a big portion of black women are because the shit that comes out of their mouth, and this is true for white women too. I've seen it like women start like even a lot of these OnlyFans stuff, and not all of them, a lot of like even you saw that in that Kevin Samuels video, like they're narcissists. And I call it social mental illnesses because you look at it like the social order created that. Let me jump on some of these super chats. I appreciate it. Hold on, I gotta. Like, and it's like some of the shit she like think about it. I had an old bitch she called my mom a fucking, and I fuck with Georgia Boy, but I'm just giving an example that I'm not just jumping on women. Like I jump on dudes as far as holding them accountable to that shit too. That's why I mentioned Georgia Boy, but I fuck with Georgia Boy. But I had a chick call a old bitch call my mom like a crackhead bitch, and I was like, you know what, my mom will fuck you up, and my mom don't even fight like that. I'm about to be 60 in May. I think my mom's older than that shit. And I'm like, and I'm not gonna say certain things that's gonna make this, now people want to talk about violence. But it's certain shit that like you say that shit like anywhere else but here, and that's gonna be a problem. If you were to go to Africa and start disrespecting people like that, you would be putting your husband in danger. Otherwise, he'd have to deal with you. And the fact that certain things come out of people's mouths, it's like, yo, how can that even come out of your mouth? Like really think about that. The average man deserves to make no demands. Now, let's define what average man is. 3% of black men make like over like $150,000 or $60,000. 3%. 50,000. If you make $50,000, you're in the top 25%. So when we talk, and keep in mind, that's of dudes that make money. We're not even talking about dudes that are not employed. So we know when people say average, we're not talking about money because black women don't care about money like that. If it's not enough money to change your life, they don't really care. As far as money, and even then, they don't care to lose it. So we know what they're talking about. They're talking about looks. And the thing about it is, even if we just look at looks, well, there's a problem. Other women see them too. And BGS said it. The only thing that keeps a lot of late millennials and Xers, and Obsidian said it too. Where you talk about the action is in the Xers. The Xers really don't matter anymore. They're really not in the dating. The Xers are not in the prime dating market anymore. And quite frankly, I'll be 34. I'll be in the upper ends of like the I'll be up in the upper ends. Once you start hitting like 38, like look, when you're a female, once you hit like past 35, it's really over. Like, as far as somebody seriously picking you up and wanting to start a family, somebody may marry you just to do that. But as far as like you starting, you ain't got no kids, you 35, 36, you starting, basically that 5 year period, by the time you come out of that, you're gonna be 40. And any dude that would accept that is a fucking moron. And they're accepting that because they can't do better. Or they're too fucking stupid. Seriously. But outside of that, it doesn't matter. So right now the X's really don't matter. Cause the youngest Xers now are like 40, like 40. Like the millennials are gonna start, the upper millennials are gonna start hitting 40, like in a year or two. Cause you gotta think, cause being a millennial starts in 1982. So right now, yeah, next year, millennials, like next year, so like 2 years, the millennials will occupy 40. 40 and up don't mean shit. The only reason that means something now is because those people got kids that are entering teenage or getting or young adult years, and so those parents can kind of drive the kids, the millennials. But as far as like their own personal dating choices, that doesn't matter. The dudes that have the economics or the looks or whatever to date younger will do so, and the dudes that are in a relationship are gonna be that, and then the women, they're gonna be like Kendra G, looking goofy as hell. They're gonna be getting stroked out, doing either simping by taking care of dudes that are younger, that have the looks, or they're gonna be going overseas, which black women do that more than or they're gonna be making deals. And trust me, the problem that they have is that, and this is what I always tell you all, dudes that make above average money, the biggest thing, it's all you got to do is really work with about 20%, 25% of black men economically, because the dudes with the looks, they already know, so they're gonna be ruthless. They're already gonna have fuckboyism in them because they're ruthless. Saw the Kevin Samuels video where he was talking to the OnlyFans broads. These women nowadays, yeah, they are, and most of them were white. But see, my thing is, you saw how he checked them, and at the end of all y'all need to know is listen to the last 2 minutes of the video, 3 minutes, if y'all don't want to see the whole thing. And the funny thing about it is, like, they all got up and left. That's the funny, which is their version of like wanting to cut out, because they knew they couldn't win the argument, and that's what white women like to do. They like to get up and leave because they think them leaving in protest means something. They think think about it. Like, they think that they're making Fresh and Fit look bad, and I'm gonna give credit to those dudes too over there, because a lot of dudes, they'll bitch up, and then they'll say, "Oh, I need to do what women want in order for them not to leave." Now, there's a difference between like O'Shea having an interview that's kind of like a softball interview, and then he can make a video about it later if he really disagrees. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is dudes that they try to create agreement with women in order to make them feel good, when really there's fundamental disagreement. And I'm glad they didn't do that. And the thing is, you had dudes that were really trying to be respectful to them, despite them being whores that sell sex for a living, that really should not be respected. Now, me personally, I have no problem talking to, like, as far as I can treat you like a human being if you act like one. But as soon as you start to step into, well, I make more money, I'm like, bitch, you make money because you out here on the block. You out here on a virtual track. I'm not gonna respect you like another woman. I'm not even gonna respect you like a chick that's selling stuff on Fashion Nova. You're a porn star. Any bitch can do that. And half of y'all don't even have the natural body to do it. Half of y'all are buying bodies. That don't mean shit. But so if you want to sit there and try to flex on that, and then the chick was like, "Oh, you're mad because it's easier for us to make money." It's always been easier for women to make money because women have always been able to do the sexual element in it. This is why this Me Too bullshit is such bullshit. Because you got women that they want to be able to use sex to advance in the workplace, but then they want to reserve the right to flip the script and tell dudes that dudes are harassing them. That's bullshit. Because ugly women can't do that. And that's why I'm all for uglier women being promoted in politics of power and shit like that over attractive women. Because that should be the penalty the dudes should relay to women that are Me Too. Basically, you know what? Then y'all gonna be regulated to this bullshit. But appreciate that, CJ Banks. Let me jump up because I'll give these other super chats. Dig Top, Dig Thug, Edward, thank you. I want someone to say that for the longest. Who else? Who else? Who else? Um, no one says greeting to Ed. Black women don't see themselves as below average when compared to other women. Do absolutely. Shout out to Marilyn Negra. Marilyn Negra is losing some weight, still attractive, but she's been losing weight, which is showing you that she could. I don't know if it's because she's in the Dominican for an extended period of time. And this is, and by the way, I'm glad I brought up a Marilyn Negra. This is a woman that is in real estate in the Dominican Republic. She's actually in It Works network marketing industry, which network marketing company that T stuff. Which there's some great network marketing companies like Prove It is one when it comes to ketones and stuff. There's some great products. Even if you don't join a network marketing company, there's some great products that you should get. Like everybody thinks that shit is snake oil. Everything, most of the stuff is not. A lot of stuff is not snake oil. Even if you just buy the products and that's it. And there are products that I buy, but and now that people are buying things via Amazon and stuff, and that stuff is normalized, it shouldn't be as big of a deal as people like to act like it is. Even Kendra G is in It Works. I bet you she's under Stormy Wellington. I bet you she is. Because she pretty much got all the black chicks from sea to shining sea. It's not just her. But she does real business. And yeah, her stuff is kind of risque a little bit. But honestly, compared to what a lot of people are doing, she don't do nothing that's crazy. But Amara actually gets it in. She actually sells stuff. Like legit. Does business. And I mean, look, and so from an entertainer standpoint, I give her a lot of credit. And she was doing that even when she was doing those bathing suits. Comparably speaking. And that's not the same thing as just selling sex. It's a difference between, okay, you're putting yourself in front with your looks, and then you just straight selling sex. Two different things. And but anyway, but my point is this thing about, and this is black men's fault. This really is. Because you got dudes that because they see their mama in these chicks, they just can't bear themselves. I'm gonna keep it real. It's a lot of black dudes that really don't even want to interculturally date. Because if people want to say, "Oh well, I'm portraying it," okay, fine. What about dating an African in the United States or a Caribbean? Nah, man, they'll make excuses. They won't be as forceful about it because it kind of sounds ridiculous at that point. Because how you're gonna make that argument? And O'Shea's done the closest where he says, "Oh well, at the end of the day, I can bond more with an African American woman," which that's his personal preference. I can understand that. But my thing is, if you look at the numbers at a macro level, and you actually see what it is, that bonding crap does not make up for all the other heat that comes along with that. It just doesn't. And this is not about saying to not date a certain group. This is about saying that group is not going to respect you if you don't show what you can do and that you are willing to exercise those options. A woman should compete for you. You should be in a position and aim to be in a position where a woman's competing for you. This is what that self-improvement stuff is about. But see, a woman is not going to be able to ain't going to compete for you if you just going to say, "Oh, well, I just like." It's kind of like saying, think about it. Think about it like with the cell phone companies. If you don't get credit for being do you get credit? AT&T just gave me another rewards card, and I don't know why. I don't. They just gave me another $50 rewards card. Now I switched from AT&T to Flint, and I'm probably gonna switch back. But when I switch back, I'll probably be able to get me a deal on an iPhone Because I do prepaid, and I do prepaid not because I'm broke, but because prepaid is actually just as expensive as postpaid. But I own my phones. I'm not gonna pay no $40 for a fucking phone, and then they keep on tripping me up and upgrading. I'm not doing that. But my point is, you have to make people earn your business. You do. Now, we're not talking about black business, but as far as in the dating market, you have to put yourself in a position where you're a valuable commodity. And here's the thing, like in some of the stuff that I do, a lot of people have this chicken and the egg argument. They say, well, I can't make money because I haven't made money, so I can't teach other people. But then they can't, so they don't get started. But they can't make money until they get started. So it's kind of like this thing where, so you have to put yourself in position where you identify with a certain target audience, and then you grow with that audience, and then you have these accolades or you have your story. But that's the same thing in the dating market. This is why I always say, fuck with who fucks with you. Like, stop worrying, and then you deal with the most attractive of who fucks with you. If you're not culturally compatible with African American women, you have two choices. You can either transform yourself into something that's going to be that, if that's really what you want to do, and then and then you're going to get what comes with that. I mean, look at the culture. As SWP used to say, I point you to the nearest black community to see what the results most likely that is going to turn out like. Or you could sit there and basically put yourself in an environment that is catered to you to win. And that doesn't have to be overseas. That could be in the United States. That could be Phoenix. That could be whatever. Everybody gets hung up overseas. Even Tarina She said that. Sometimes you just got to go to another city. And that's even true because black women in certain cities are different. And so what happens is dudes start their identity of manhood is based on what that bitch tells him he is. And that is the biggest thing I see with a lot of these dudes. Now, some of these dudes are in relation, they're in like marriages and shit, and they like to throw little arrows from the protection of their own marriage. They like to do that and then say, well, I found a black woman and I'm married. Luckily, we got enough dudes that are married in the space to kind of counter that a little bit. But that's usually what the dudes that I get on, because they be like, yeah, but I do that. I like, dude, that don't mean jack shit, because I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the general situation. All we got to do is look at the black community and see that. But that's some arrogant ass shit. Oh, huh, the average black man don't deserve to ask nothing for a black woman. Well, let's keep this all the way real. Black men are not asking jack shit of you. Y'all the ones talking about y'all not being protected. Y'all the ones crying about y'all not being elevated. Y'all the ones talking about colorism, featureism. Ain't no good men. For the most part, if you remove YouTube from the equation, you don't hear no black. You wouldn't even know black men were complaining if YouTube didn't exist. So the only reason why you even know that any dudes have any kind of issues with how black is YouTube. You take YouTube off the board, that doesn't mean that you take YouTube off the board, you wouldn't hear nothing from black men. But that's not true for women. You take YouTube off the board, what do you have? You have the media, you have Madame Noir, you have the blogosphere, you have all of this apparatus is designed to say what black women don't have, but none of it never says that that's your fault. You got women that are celebrities and had access to nothing but the bottom dudes they had access to made over 100 grand. The bottom dudes. And yet, they at the end of the day, they ain't got nobody. And then this is what makes it funny. This is what makes it funny. I'm talking about the Fox Soul. What makes it funny is a lot of those dudes are in marriages. So when they got away from them, they actually got into marriages that actually were solid. If you look at Nicki Minaj, Keisha Cole, I mean, just take your pick. When you look at what they get out the game with, most Sierra is an anomaly. Gabrielle damn sure is an anomaly. And you know who she picked. She got lucky. Look at that. That Dwayne Wade is one step off of Lil Nas X. But that's not the norm. And the fun and here and this is the funny thing. The funny thing is you got women out here, they just so they gotta save face and how they look good so much. It's like, yo, your house is burning behind you, but you gotta put up a brave face. That's insane. And the thing is, other women ain't doing that. Not like that. Cause it gets to the point where that shit is just crazy. That shit is just goofy. To the point where I start questioning people's mental health. Like for real. Luckily, I'm around enough black women don't operate that way. Talking about a fucking average black man. The average. I wish somebody would have said that shit to me. And the first thing I would have said, okay, so question, what makes you the nigga you with above average? Give me some stats. That's exactly what I would have said, straight up. Well, what about the chicks you with? Bitches, the bitches I'm with ain't shit. So what about yours? I'm not out here bragging about the bitches. I'm not out here saying because y'all know what I say. I say that a woman has every right to ask for, no matter what level she's at, she has every right to ask for whatever she wants. The question is there a market for it? That's what I say. Can you? That's you. That's what I say. But see, with women, they got to keep you down. They got to say, "Oh, well, your average man ain't got the right ask for anything." You hope they don't ask for anything, because the fear is that if they start shopping around, see, it's kind of like the Deshaun Watson situation, where the Texans knows his value, but they did not want him going in the open market. Because if he started to play the I want to request a trade, he knows the value of a quarterback. And they know his value. Now, even though they playing around with the coach they got, with getting rid of Watts and different players, they're not trying to build around him. They're not giving him anything to. This is why LeBron always doing 2-year contracts, because he lets them know, look, you always are on the hook. We're not doing we give you all this. No, we're not playing that game. The only dudes that play that game is dudes that get hurt now. A lot of other dudes like, no, we doing 2-year contracts. Because I always want you to know I'm 1 year away from exiting out of this. You always had the ability to trade me, and I always got the ability to leave. Let's cut the bullshit. And Deshaun Watson tried that and didn't know what the NFL was about. Because that's different in the NFL. But my point is, that's what it is here. They don't want y'all really shopping. That's their fear. Because if y'all start shopping around, it's over. Because they already ain't going to compete. Look, the black women that are the black women that know how to get deals made, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. The rest of them, they're going to be out here. They're going to be fucking other women. They're going to be going, jumping into that single motherhood. I'm gay. I'm not. They're going to go into descend into all of this crazy shit. And what's going to happen is eventually dudes are going to just get away from it. And some dudes are just going to be stupid. Some dudes are going to be stupid. Some dudes are just going to be the flag they're going to die on. But see, that time is going. These millennials, just like how millennials didn't do the stepdad game like that, like the Xers did, the zillennials are not doing that negotiating thing like we're doing. And I keep saying this. In 8 years, remember, in 2 years, the millennials will be 40. In another 6 years, the zillennials will operate the entire the entire 20s dating market. It's not that long before you start to really see, and by then it's too late. There is no, well, how can we fix it? That's how you know it's too late. When people start saying, oh, well, how can we fix it? How can we put it together? How can we, come? No, that's not going to happen. What's going to happen is you're going to have on the surface people going to be playing that game, giving people hope. But in real life, in the real world, that's already passed. That's going to be kind of like the defracking period. what stuff is going to really start getting carved up. But see, while they're carving it up, they'll be telling you what you want to hear so you can feel good about it being carved up. So you don't really do nothing, because that's what America's about. America's about giving you a mask, and then while the real stuff is happening, and then people don't look really at what's going on. They just tell you everything's okay, even though, like, it's kind of like this. They repoing your car but telling you, oh, don't worry, there might be a way for you to get it back. Or they're literally kicking your stuff out the house. You've been evicted, but they telling you it's somebody that's gonna pick you up, and you believe in them because you're a fool. That's how America is. Anyway, all right, we let's go through some of these notes, and then I'm in this. What's up, the village arsonist? What's up, black patriarchy? Strong, independent, combative empowerment. Yeah, the village smash them like Shaw. The pussy is good. Women ain't. Yeah, that's all it is. That's really all it is. And the thing is, if you ever did a NAFTA situation like they did with NAFTA, and you create like access points to where men can get other women without leaving the country, it would be game over. So it's market structures just keeping certain things the way that it is. It's just like when Walmart got created. What did Walmart do to small businesses for the most part? Especially because the internet went in there, devastated it. And I didn't know there was more Latin men in the United States than Latin women. I didn't know that. BGS revealed that, or at least in California. Gym rat facts. Most people are average, but that's not it's not a bad thing. The thing you don't want to be is below average. Here's the thing. Most people are above average in some things, and they're below average in others. The question is, are you average? Like, you see what I'm saying? But this idea of I don't want an average, and here's the thing. Understand, if you alone, you alone. And that's cool. Just don't ask nobody for help. Just don't be asking, oh, why aren't men doing it? Men don't owe you shit. If you don't need a man, then you don't need a man. You do it all yourself. But see, nobody wants to do that. We kill dragons, act like a white man if she's not to mention, no mention, period. Well, we kill dragons. I mean, you can say that all day, every day, but the problem is dudes are not acting on that. That's why you're going to have to wait for a generational shift. A lot of black men have a culture at believing that putting up with a black female's bullshit is a part of manhood. And you're just not gonna, that's like them telling somebody God ain't real. You're just not gonna fix that. White women can make excellent partners for black men. O'Shea just can't admit the truth. Well, my thing is not by saying go with a certain race. My thing is exercise your options. Because there's trade-offs for everything. Exercise your options, because going ain't no one race is going to just be the answer. It's just not. you know it's just not. But the thing is, with black women coming to other races of women coming to black men, it ain't, you're not gonna shame black men in this thing. And dudes like Jason Black that want to just pretend like, oh well, the real ass niggas are just gonna do it just to do it. Dude, you're not married. You're not married, and you ain't picked the bitch yourself. So I don't want to hear that shit. I don't. Yeah, I've already spoken on the Black Lives Matter leaders buying multiple houses in my other thing. Um, but it just proves what we all thought. Jim Rat, why can't Jim Rat says that's why I can't take Sister God serious. She pushes black love in marriage, but never married. Wants us to bargain basement shop. I didn't know she was never married. As far as the black love piece, here's my thing. If you believe in the brand of black love, you have to part of the brand of black love. Here's the thing. Black love is not some magical shit that's just gonna be okay. We just gonna separate everything because of black love. And another thing too is black love doesn't account for intercultural dating. So technically, you can be like, I'm gonna date black people and still not deal with ADOS black women. But I'll give Six to Goddess credit. Six to Goddess does tell black women they gotta change and they gotta be feminine. So that's the biggest, and she does stand on that. She don't just kind of sort of say it. She says you gonna have to have something to offer these dudes. You The thing about Sis Goddess above everything else, and this is, we can have a little bit of disagreements here and there, but the thing that's fundamental is you gonna have to compete. And since the Goddess does not sell this idea that you're gonna have to compete just for high value men, you're gonna have to compete for men that you want. Men that you want, whether they're high value, whether they're average, whether it's dudes of a certain height, you're gonna have to make a deal. She doesn't promote the men have to make a deal with the women. What she says is, which is true, black men are willing to make a deal. That's what she says. That is true. So the argument becomes, oh, well, black men, you shouldn't be saying that. No, I'm not like, oh, well, you shouldn't be saying that because that's putting it out there that men are willing. No, the truth is men are willing to make a deal. The truth is black men, look, if I say, would you date a single mother? And then I show you her picture, maybe not you all, but is you honestly telling me that, I'm not talking about red pill dudes or dudes here. Are you honestly telling me out here in these streets, there's not a dude that makes 50, 60, 70? Now, keep in mind, I live in North Carolina where that goes a good amount of ways. A dude that has his basics that wouldn't date her. I mean, she's 6 foot, so obviously you're going to be six something. Are you telling me that? A dude is not like this, like 40. I don't know how old she is, but dude is 41, 42, or a dude is like 39. Are you really telling me that? Are you telling me she's going to struggle? Or you telling me she don't got suitors? We're not talking about necessarily dudes that make six figures, but dudes that they make their own money and they're on a growth potential. Is that what we're saying? No. I'm not going to sit here. I don't believe in saying, I don't believe in putting out here that something's not out here just because people don't want it to be. I don't believe in hear no evil, see no evil. Yes, there are dudes out here that make a deal, but these women are not where they need to be to make it. Even women that are kids. The reason why you don't hear that with Kevin is because these women want dudes that make not at the bottom tier six figures. That's a different level. We're not talking about dudes that make like 60, 70, 80,000. They 6'2" or whatever. And these women like how they look. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about dudes that are on their way to being really paid. That's a different tier. And she's not really talking about that. And quite frankly, I don't think Sis Goddess is like the extremely biggest fan of Kevin like that. But she's talking about something different. She's talking about something different. And that is true. But that's not going to be true with these Z's as much. That's true for millennials and Xers. That's not going to be true for these Z's. But that's not really what she speaks to. Well, Village Artist in this, I find black women attractive. It ain't no I find some. It ain't hard for me to it ain't hard for me to find a black woman attractive. It's just a matter of the attitude. And it's not always the attitude. It's not always the attitude doesn't always come in just a chick just acting like a straight bitch. The attitude is sometimes passive aggressive too. Where they do shit and they know how to do shit with a smile. Charles Irby, maybe so, but when white, I like Arab, Turkish, Syrian women have blonde hair, very beautiful. I don't trust American white women even are nice. Yeah, Charles Irby, I can understand that. And that tells me you've put thought into it. Jim Rat, that girl from that TikTok video go to USC, so I already know why she felt that way. LA swirl. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I give her a little bit of benefit of the doubt for that then. Because at the end of the day, she's okay. I wouldn't talk to her, but like in LA, no. She's not moving no units in LA like that. LA's not her scene. I don't care about the likes right now. Let them, yeah, but get the likes up. Nurse said basic economics. Absolutely. Shout out to Nurse and Nerd. She got a video talk. I haven't listened to that video. I was just in the chat. I got to go through it talking about. She said how her being dark skinned gave her advantage. I think that if you have an idea, if you're honest about the features that you want, like the qualities that you want in a person, and if you know what you want. See, the problem is when you hear a lot of these women say, I want a nigga that makes six figures, I want a nigga that's basically ready made. Like, think about it. Most of us have never, all of us has been in a house or an apartment. All of us, right? Ain't nobody never went into no apartment that's furnished. Oh, well, I want to furnish the house, a furnished apartment. No, you want to put your own stuff in there. What you essentially have is women that basically, and Chrissy said this one time where Chrissy said, I want you to build it and I want to run it. That's what you have a lot of women doing. You have women that are essentially saying that I want a dude that basically has everything and then I just want to run him. That's where that loyal alpha shit comes from that Kevin's be talking about. And a big reason as to why they do it, if you get past just the outrage of them even trying to say that, is they don't know what they want. That's a sign of immaturity. And it's proven by when you ask, when Kevin asks them a lot of questions about why they want what they want or how much, not, you know what, the why they want is an open ended question. But when you ask questions about how much things will cost, they don't never argue. I think Kevin's numbers can be a little high. Oh, well, you need 350,000 to do this, that, and the third. Okay, you need him to make 350,000. But I don't even think that. I think his numbers are high. And the thing is, they never challenge those numbers. You notice they never challenge those numbers because they don't have counter numbers because they've never even considered it. They've never even considered what these things will cost. And a lot of these women, if you were to go and ask women, what neighborhood will you want to live in? How much does that, you don't even got to tell me, how much does that neighborhood cost? Like, they wouldn't even be able to tell you. Or what is the average real estate prices in the places you want to live in? Like, really map out what, women always talk about law of attraction, self empowerment. So part of empowerment is you being able to map out kind of what you want. So you at least have a framework. That's important because your subconscious has something to build on. If you ask a dude what type of car he wants or what the qualities he wants in a car, like if he could pick a car, he'll tell you. Women will be able to tell you in things that they actually want. But when it comes to a man, it's like they have a blank spot. Now, this is all women know, but this is most women that come on his show. And keep in mind, when you're calling his show to talk about getting a high value dude. You're not calling his show for anything else. So, and his show's been around for a while. Now, granted, you have women that all these women are calling in, and it's their first time. I get that, but all you gotta this quick play. I mean, all these women are educated, so you would think they know how to do some quick research with Google. You would think. And they know enough to know the city they live in has high cost of living. But see, the reason why is because they don't want to think about, as smart as they like to act like they are, strong as independent like they act like they are. They don't like to think. They don't want to think like about that. They don't want to think about where the. They don't want to think about where the money comes from or how stuff. It's like giving a woman an like fuck. Um Jada Black did a video just today talking, and shout out to Jada Black, make sure you sub to him. Talking about this fucking producer DJ Mustard. I don't know these people now. And he check this out. And I want the women to listen too, for the women that are listening as well as y'all. I hope Nurse and Nerd is still there. He was paying this woman $6,000. I don't care where it is. I don't care where it is. I don't care if it was Cali. He was paying her $6,000 a month in order to be a personal shopper, which means her job was just to take his credit card and buy stuff that he wanted. I need this, go find it, get it. That's it. That's it. And then check this out. He actually made it so she worked for him as a stylist. And I'm gonna tell you, this dudes have done this. Like not Deshaun Watson, but there's been dudes that have made women like personal masseuses and stuff. And not on some like sexual shit. I'm talking about black men, but I'm talking about on some really giving women a leg up. And see, dudes never get no credit for that. Because those women never come out and really say what it really was. But anyway, he gave her $6,000 a month, and what she did was took his credit card and stole 50,000 worth of shit. Now that's on him because he's sitting here and he's trying to air her out and embarrass her. But my thing is, it's like, dude, you're only doing that because she even said, "Oh, I'm sorry. The temptation was just too strong." And I'm like, you were getting paid $6,000. You get paid $72,000 a year. Are you serious? So with that, and so my point, but that's on him because the thing is, what I would do, I put a judgment on her. I put a judgment on her. I get the label. I say, no, we putting. She's not gonna be able to put nothing in her name. She's not, so she ain't gonna be able to send for a dude. She ain't gonna be able to do nothing. She ain't gonna be able to get a house. She ain't gonna be able to get an apartment. That bitch about to be homeless, or she gonna get on OnlyFans and give me triple my money. She gonna shake that ass and give me triple my money because that's the only way she can probably get some fast money. But he ain't gonna do that because he ain't got the will to do that. He ain't got the will to do that. And that, shout out to Ramil. Ramil said that y'all got to start putting judgments on these people. And that's another thing. You could charge her for credit card fraud or identity fraud. You could put a criminal case on her or civil. I probably do the civil because that's easier to get done because she admitted she did it. But these dudes are fucking weak. They want to help these bitches, but when it's time, like even look, I'm not trying to say Tariq Nasheed is weak, but Tariq Nasheed didn't check that chick that tried to come at him that he offered and he gave employment. Dudes be letting black women do shit to them, and they just be taking it on the fucking chin. That's bullshit, and that's on y'all. That's why they feel like they can do it to you. Richard Dixon, I think brothers also have seeds of black self hatred just like sisters. There's a lot of nuances between A women and black women from other places. They do. I'm not anti ADOS black women. I'm pro options. I'm pro options because a woman ain't gonna respect you if you don't exercise them. They do have options, but they don't forever have options. Understand something. Women only have a short shelf life at their maximum peak. And see what they don't tell you is the stock of dudes that they're able to pull from goes down. These women are acting like they got access to six. All these women got access to six-figure dudes all the time. No, it's not even 20%, dude. Like honestly, it took Glennon Cameron created OnlyFans for some of his like disruptive male stuff, and he was only at like $1,000. He got in like the top 20%, top I think 10%. It doesn't take as much as you think to get in those higher tiers, man. It don't. No, he's not. No, I'm gonna tell you, Georgia. He is not. Georgia Boy is not a simp. That's not what it is. I've already explained to y'all like what it is with Georgia Boy. It's more of his worldview based on his own experience, and I understand that. But a lot of these dudes have problems emphasizing it. Hold on. Yeah, yeah, I know I had y'all on mute. Y'all be all right. All right, let me go ahead and do this and finish this up. Sonny Robinson is hard to find. Oh yeah, Meech. My cash app is $Allen 100K. So ALLEN 100K. I don't have the ability to post my cash app. Yeah, AM1. That's it, and that's what I keep telling people. I'm more likely to take a big chick out this for a business thing than I am to take a chick out and pay for it. That's the thing. Like I'm always looking for different angles. Like a lot of y'all don't be putting a lot of thought into this, man. For real, y'all really don't. You're right, Sonny, and that's the thing. That's the thing about what a lot of people talk about paying for everything. Just because you can pay for everything doesn't mean you should. Because you have to make a woman invest. And that's another thing. I'm not paying for everything just to date a bitch. Okay, Kaya, like, get the fuck, don't do this. Like, I always have women that come in here, they want to give their little 2 cents, or dudes, and it's like you not saying nothing. First of all, even if I give you, let's say black men are colorists, who raised these black men? Like, people kill me with that. Oh, well, black men are colorists. So that's the only thing wrong with these niggas is that they colorists, right? It ain't nothing wrong with your ass. It ain't the attitude. It ain't nothing. It's just these niggas are colorists. The end. Get the fuck out of here. Any female that I hear that say black men are colorists, I know that's a chick that's not attractive. Cause attractive black women, dark skin, don't say that shit. And the other thing I would say to you too is is that the other thing I would say to you too is, um, if that's the case, then what are you doing? Shaming, you're not gonna shame, just like how you don't shame women. I want, as a woman, this is what I would say. What shaming has worked on you when it comes to who you date? Who have you not dated that you would otherwise date or you're sexually attracted to because you're ashamed? We know that doesn't work. Black men have been talking about dating thugs, and their outcomes that are negative prove it for years. And they still do it. So this like so shaming is not gonna work. You're not gonna, oh, well, I don't want to compete, but I'll shame. So I'll say men of colors. Nobody gives a fuck about that. I'm You know what? I'm tired of even arguing that black men are colors. Black men are colors. So the fuck what? If black men are colorists, it's because black men have identified that dark skin equals a chick acting like a fucking bitch. And that's, if anything, that's black females issue. And that's black females' fault. Behind every black man that's a colorist is a self-hating black female mother that's masculine as fuck. So all of this, black men are colors. I don't even know why you even waste the time commenting. Black men are colors. Black men are this. Y'all don't choose right. This ain't it. Like I don't even know why you even waste the fucking time. You have more options than black women, so why are you complaining? I'm not gonna like, because a black man talking, a black man having an opinion has always has to be associated with a black man complaining. Not all black women have attitude. Not all, not all, not all, not all, not all. This is on a platform that says 20% of them don't, 80% of them do. But apparently, it has to be 100% of them to have something for it to be a problem. Like, I had y'all on mute. I just look. Y'all think I'm fucking playing? Why you think I just went on? I don't never go on mute that long. No, I ain't trying to show you because I don't want y'all to say yeah, I don't want y'all to be stupid. But I just got talking to a very nice black woman that this in life insurance that, yes, was light skinned and had a fat ass. No, I didn't go to the bathroom. I was talking to a female. That's why I didn't see the phone move. I muted the phone. Not all, not all, not all, not all, not all. I mean, it's just this stupid bullshit. It's like, well, why do y'all even come in here? And the thing about it is, and y'all will never know where to be found when I'm on live, as far as where y'all could come up on here. And see, the reason why I like women coming on is because women can't like outthink me. So the reality is, y'all are just gonna turn into a bitch and just make a fool of yourself. Yeah, and see, here's the thing. In the mind of most black women, any black men that don't want them, there's something wrong with them. And so there's a lot of projection. And like I said, I blame men ultimately because men like allow that shit to get as bad. Men have allowed it to get that bad. Men have basically allowed women to get that cracked out. They really have. They really have. That's on us. And see, and it is what it is. Hold on, man, because I'm like, okay, I was wondering, okay, I was wondering because it was going. I didn't see it updating. Black men are not always complaining. First of all, black men, there's a whole economic ecosystem and industry of black women crying about men. Books, everything. Books, websites, blogs, television shows. You don't have none of that shit for black men. So the thing is, black men have an opinion is perceived as complaining. You picked the wrong black. Let me get all the way down here. Everything you said was wrong. I just told you what you said was wrong. I just explained to you what you said was wrong. You said many black men are colorists. Well, what percentage of black men would you say are colorists? Because that many shit could mean anything. Y'all, I don't know if y'all when y'all could say one black woman, black man, and that means many black men the way y'all understand things. Second of all, men have a right to their preferences. You can't call a black man colorist if you all accept light skinned women in the black community. That's some shit. That's some shit that's on black women. Okay. Second of all, the idea like nurse nerd is dark skin. The idea that black men that's an ugly girl argument. That's an ugly girl argument. If you're saying that I can't get the black man I want because I'm dark skinned, then you're not an attractive dark skinned woman. Either you're not an attractive dark skinned woman or you don't have something that pops like an ass or a chest. It's one or the two. You're not gonna be any chick that tells me that is like a 6 and below, or you're aiming a 5, or you're aiming for dudes you ain't got no business aiming for. See, a lot of times women will say a black man is colorist, and then they'll be aiming for a dude where every woman wants him, and they trying to get picked. Now she wants to laugh off the stupid. You have more options. Be happy with that. Well, black men do have more options. That's why all the laws and everything is designed to control where who black men date. There is no laws or anything designed to control who black women date. Well, my problem with what you're doing is you're coming in here and you're not even really having a conversation. You're saying basically the basic shit every female says. You're basically saying black men are colorists, black men are this, black men are this. Like, there's not one comment that you have said has actually been intelligent and adds to the conversation. You're very triggered about what I'm saying, and I've titled and this and see what's killing me about this is I don't say black women this I don't title I don't always do that, but most of the time I don't title my titles to like oh, black women, this is like in order to like attract black women to be triggered. I keep my shit vague on purpose, so you have to go out of your way to find my shit. You really do. She said, so what you should say? What you should do is ask a question. That's what you should do. Ask a question to see it to understand where my head's at. And not make these comments like you think you're a unique little snowflake, but you're saying the same thing every female that's triggered always says. Every black chick says the same, like 10, 5 or 10 things. Oh, you all are colorists. It's who you pick. 80% of black women are overweight. That's not a who you pick situation. The attitude problem is at least in the same realm. 50% of y'all, but that's not a who you pick situation. And by the way, I said in this platform, black men picking black women and chasing women that don't deserve to be chased is because they have this need for black female validation because they're looking for their manhood in a woman's womb is part of the problem. So I've already advised of that. So, but you must have came in here later and basically just heard that I'm not edifying black women and calling them queens and saying everything they do is perfect. Because I'm not saying black women are perfect. And shout out to Meech for the Cash App if he gave it. Because I can't close this right now. Like, y'all be expecting motherfuckers. Y'all, see, the problem is, this is the real issue. The real issue is that social black women expect social media to be this place where everybody like look, social media is not supposed to be y'all fucking therapy. Social media is not supposed to be a place where you all see like just like let's take Instagram for example. Women go to Instagram and they get these DMs of these bitch made pussy ass niggas. They basically decide to spam a DM box, talk about, hey, queen, hey, this, in the comment section or in the thing, gassing y'all ass up. So y'all expect YouTube to do the same shit. Y'all expect YouTube to be this place to give you all what I call empty calorie attention. And that shit actually leads to narcissism. Where you all expect somebody's typing in some shit. Well, that shit could be a computer, really, for all the fuck you know. And anything that doesn't tell you you're a perfect little snowflake, you all lose your mind. This has been proven. Instagram took away the likes, and to be fair, it wasn't just black women, it was all women damn near went suicide watch. TikTok, you see that shit all the time, where these women are damn near having a race war over there for attention. Talking about I'm not giving it enough attention because I'm black, or TikTok is racist, and all this bullshit. I call it sexual politicking. Well, if you've seen me on panels, you know how I get down. And you know how I get down when it comes to dudes and women. You know, I don't discriminate. Bullshit, when bullshit brought gets met with bullshit. In fact, I give women a lot more rope than I give men. No, it is. And again, that's men's fault too. So this whole conversation is not even about blaming women. A lot of look, you're accountable to your outcomes, but a lot of big reason, and that's why I get the OnlyFans situation. But my thing too though is y'all see OnlyFans is bad. It got bad with Instagram. It got bad with Instagram. It got bad when rappers edifying strippers. And none of y'all had nothing. Y'all didn't really have nothing to say. Y'all didn't really have nothing to say about that shit. It's been bad. Niggas want to look at OnlyFans because money's being exchanged. Like the cam modeling industry has been around. The cam modeling industry has been around for 10 years. And before, well, the phone sex industry was like a 90s thing. I died with the 90s. But, but my point is that shit has been around. The porn industry started to flip in the 2000s when you saw like shit like more porn websites, and then the cam industry. Like as the end, why would you? People will always ask me why do you know about that if you're not on it? Because the internet, porn actually does changes stuff first. Like, when you look at virtual reality, you see that more in porn and you see that anywhere else, and then other stuff catches up to it. So it actually pushes. They adopt certain things, like sex industry stuff adopt certain things before others when it comes to the internet. It's one of the first, that, and then like white supremacist shit. Exactly. So when Kevin was talking about the 10-year outlook, the thing is, there's always going to be like women in the top 10%. They're going to do really, really well. But one thing that doesn't get brought into OnlyFans, and I would have brought that to their attention too, is it's not a truly global market on OnlyFans. Like, the truth is, America, black women don't have a lot of upward potential on OnlyFans. But there's a lot of Latin women, like in Latin America, that if they got access, I talked about this, they got access into the American market, they could take a lot of that damn money. And you saw how what time is it? Yeah, I'm about to get off this bitch. You saw how it just took one chick to completely disrupt. You saw that Belladonna chick, a Bella Thorne, and then you saw that bad Barbie chick. It doesn't take a lot to disrupt the entire market. And say what you want to about Bella Thorne, that was white people that gave her that money. And we don't know if that was black men that gave bad Barbie that money. Then you got women that are starting to get used to getting easy money by going on OnlyFans like that. They're starting to set their shit up early. They'll start setting their shit up on TikTok, where it used to be Musically, or like you see that Whopper bitch doing that. That Whopper meat shit. So what you have women that won't get out the market in their 40s when they're supposed to. They're entering a market a lot earlier. And then you have the international element that's going to happen, because there's going to be a dude that's going to make money, like closing that loop. I mean, I already told you. You could ask questions. What you doing? You arguing with people in the panels, in the chat. You said, why are black? First of all, black women are not a problem. See, what you're essentially saying is, why are black men speaking on black women and they're not just leaving? Well, first of all, most black men are not on YouTube. Most black men don't talk about these things. Most black men just date who they want to, and then that's it. That's what you're seeing an iceberg. And what we all know about icebergs is the top of the iceberg is not even like 5% of the total iceberg. Most of the iceberg is underwater. So most people aren't on here. Second of all, a lot of dudes in the manosphere have relationships with black women. So what we're doing is we're commentating on the greater market. And we have a right to say what the fuck we want to say. Black women have been throwing black men on the bus to the point where us being murdered and killed for fucking decades, and ain't nobody, including black men, has shit to say about that. But you're deciding when the female sphere is like 10 times larger than the black manosphere. Yeah, you're here asking either me or asking people in the chat, why is black women a problem? First of all, you don't. I'm an African American. You don't get to tell me what the fuck to talk about. You're not over there. I know you're not over there asking them hoes why they making shit up. The second thing too is the question is what I'm saying accurate or is it not true? Because if it's true, it doesn't matter. It takes a very arrogant person to really think that they have a right to try to legislate what somebody should say or should not say. So you know you can't say that. So now it becomes you want to flip it to make it about me, about people in the chat saying, "Oh well, why are you even talking if it's not a problem?" I should have showed that, but I'm not going to show that chick because but I should have showed her. Exactly, Xanatos. And most of the guys in the black manosphere date black women. That's why they talk about them. And that's the thing that folks don't understand. Y'all are acting like, look, black men that are colorists are not out here talking about black women. Like this idea that see this most dudes are not like Shane Vicious where they're with white women and they're just running their mouth about not Shane Vicious, but you get what I'm saying. They're in the chat, and even Shane Vicious is just in the chat. He's not actually got no channel talking about black women. Most dudes that actually hop for real, the only time you really see them talk about black women is when they're defending why they hot because they're starting to get heat from sisters of somebody else. Other than that, they're living their best life. Most of them, this BGS talked about this, and I would suggest you go to Black Gnostic Speak BGS. I forget your name. I'm not even gonna pronounce it. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it. But my point is, listen to that. Dudes are not. That's not what dudes are doing. And see, you all have this image that narcissism is like, and arrogance is promoting that that dudes are like, that's what y'all do. Y'all be trying to go date non-black men, or if y'all do get a white man, y'all worrying about what black men are doing. That's what y'all are doing. And so what you all do is you all project those feelings onto us. Most black men are not doing it. That's why when I hear black women talk about, oh yeah, he had a Becky and he had a white woman and he just couldn't, he just had to look at me with my white man and I'm like, bitch, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. You making that up. Men ain't worried about that. If men got pussy, men are worried about the pussy they got and the pussy they trying to fuck. That's what they were. They are not worried about. They are not sitting here worried about oh, she with a white man. Why she man dudes don't think that way. Dude, now the only dudes that might try that is dudes like Umar Johnson is on some hotel stuff, and even then they not looking like that. That's something y'all do. And y'all will flip that like, well, if I feel this way, he must feel this way. Because women, and O'Shea talked about this, women do that. I want to have a baby by a dude to make another dude jealous. Y'all do that little high school shit. Dudes don't really do that. Not to the point where they making like life changing decisions off of that dumb shit. Xanatos Clutch says, to be honest, consider themselves lucky that there are black men still talking about black women. The average black man was like myself and Donovan is absolutely. And that's what doesn't get talked about. That's really like this idea. And that's one of the things I'm glad you brought that up because like when Concrete and Danielle, if they said that, I'm like, yo, and it just shows you how deluded they are as far as what's really going on. Like and the thing about it is I'm like, okay, y'all got dudes. So my thing is, how are you helping black women? Okay, you have a platform. You're talking to dudes. How are you helping black women by telling black men that average black men have no right to say to ask for anything? Do you honestly believe that black men are going to continue to date black like most black men are going to take that deal? And then you're banking on the fact that other women won't offer a better deal. And this is where the arrogance comes in because black women, they see, well, I'm at the bottom of all women. So if I'm at the bottom of all women, but I'm better than that nigga, then why would any bitch want him if I don't want him? That's a psychological defect y'all have that really has y'all not competing. Because the reality is other women do value these dudes. And y'all really underestimate how much dudes be really telling women no because they got a mama complex and they're guilty. A lot of y'all chicks completely underestimate the power of that guilt. And the problem is those Z's are not guilty. And that's the biggest thing that you're seeing. Those Z's are not guilty like that. Those Z's don't care. And a lot of dudes get on BGS platform, they ain't even ADOS. They're not ADOS. So they're on some other different type of programming. Them Z's are not guilty. Them Z's are like clutch, whether they're in the community or not. And so y'all, so a lot of these women don't know what to do because they don't understand how much they've benefited from dudes being guilty. Also, you have a situation where the greater things that Glenn and Cameron has said, I've said, BGS has said, we've been saying this for years, it's starting to really happen, where even the dominant society is starting to and you see it. You see it in football, you see it in basketball, you see it, I mean, well, sports, you're starting to see it in entertainment. And that's just reflected what's really going on. You're starting to really see, like a Jenny Mai Jeezy situation would not have been promoted like even 5 years ago. You're seeing that stuff being promoted more. And because those are signals that are really being sent. And the sad thing is, that's going to fuck you up. Because y'all, and like it is. And dudes, and really millennials, the older half of the millennials are really the last group that's really going to play with y'all. Everybody else ain't playing with y'all. And the top 20%, they'll be fine. The rest of y'all going, y'all gonna have to get it how you live. And I'm not saying y'all not gonna get no dude, but y'all not gonna like the motherfuckers y'all with. And it's not because them dudes are bad. It's just because y'all have this inflated. And you see it on TikTok. You see it everywhere where you all are comparing what you should get to what everybody else should get. But it's like, what are you doing to get that? So really, it becomes, oh, let's complain and call it body positivity, colorism, featureism, whatever ism, slut shaming. It's all about trying to make somebody else come off of what they on. And to see, the thing is, what they're gonna do is they're doing what they're already doing now. They're gonna pretend like they're doing that. They're gonna pretend. Hold on. They're gonna pretend. Sorry, I gotta do something. They're gonna pretend like that shit's working, but it ain't working. And they go play your ass. That's what they doing. They gonna give you a face because they gonna want to get that money out of you. Shout out to Malink for the $10 cash app. See what the cat. Remember, a cash app is Allen 100K. Allen 100K. $sign. Yeah. Like a lot of, I mean, Clutch, you should be having a great year so far. A lot of the shit that you talked about, I mean, at least that you want to see happening, is happening. It's happening slowly. Shit. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, wow. Stephiscold, I definitely appreciate that, man. Shout out to Stephiscold for the $99 super chat. And y'all already know what I've been saying about Stephiscold. I actually found his channel late because, like I said, I don't see everything in the damn manosphere like that. But O'Shea always references Stephiscold, and I said, all right, man, let me start taking a look at some of these dudes. And y'all already know what I said about him a couple of a week ago, a couple of weeks ago, where as far as look, man, I'm not here to like put certain people against people because I know everybody can eat, but you already know. I said Glendon Cameron is like my favorite dude when it comes to dating, but the truth is Glendon Cameron has actually turned off his disruptive male stuff to focus on other stuff like the corporate stuff. But I said even when he still had it on, that as far as like really balancing the red pill stuff with the dating stuff, Stephiscold was probably the best. And you know, I like Donovan, but and then I gotta tell you, I gotta say too, and I said it, I'm repeating everything I said before, but from an internet marketing standpoint, looking at this stuff from an internet marketing standpoint, and like really like I don't want to say getting money out of an audience, but really building a following, but doing it in a way that's like really balances a lot of stuff out. I'm very impressed because this is not an easy corralling like men in general, black men in particular. Like I said about O'Shea, that's not an easy thing. So I absolutely appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. But like I said, and I just looked at his video too, talking about Deshaun Watson being destroyed. So make sure y'all check that out. Obviously, he don't need the subscribers, but all subscribers are great. So make sure you check him out. But I know a lot of y'all put me on to him too. Speaking of that, man, it's really interesting, you know, talking about. But like I said, yeah, at the end of the day, there's no one size fits all solution. You know, is really get it how you live in this country. A lot of things that you weren't allowed to do, you are allowed to do now, as far as how you sell shit, how you lie on shit. And truth be told, you know, I'm not here to want to see sisters lose. I'm really not. But at the end of the day, the truth is the truth. The truth is the motherfucking truth. And I'ma tell it no matter who it is. I really should have showed you, but like that's why I had my phone on mute. I was actually talking to a lovely black woman, and she was out here selling life insurance. Selling life insurance. She went to the house, two houses next to me, and I saw her pull up, and I was like, "Damn, that's when y'all heard me say, damn, she got a fat ass." And I was actually talking to her. I got her card and everything, and I'm probably gonna talk to her about some business as well as some other shit for like and not just life insurance. But you niggas. But no, I definitely appreciate that, man. Shout out to Steph is cold. And don't say these dudes don't ever be listening what some of the other tier dudes be putting out there. But Steph is cold should be up there with Kevin Samuels, especially for the younger dudes. I be seeing them video game metaphors and shit. Great, great stuff. And we know niggas ain't gonna be on this bitch for no hour like me. So if y'all want some shit that's like 10 minutes and nothing but fire. But y'all already know who Steph is cold is. Y'all put me on to him. But see, it's happening on TV and in this country to an extent. But where am I in the Bay Area? They're trying to push the black man boogeyman, so don't date him narrative. Well, yeah, they're not pushing that everywhere. That's some shit they can do in the Bay Area. But that's not like here's the thing, Clutch. Calling the black man boogeyman does nothing but it hurts black men in the grander scheme of things, but from a sexual marketplace value, that makes black men look like bad boys. So like somebody like you, Clutch, who you're not really, you know, obviously you it's not that you reject black culture, but you are who you are. And you're not gonna let nobody tell you who you are. I respect that. I'm the same way. But you actually benefit from that because they're like, okay, I may not date because it makes you look like more of a bad boy than like a white dude or a Latin dude. Because he's black or he's mixed with black. Oh, okay. I mean, but he, you know, culturally he's more polished and da da da. So that actually elevates you. I call it. I'm not saying you're like Lawrence, but I call it like the Lawrence effect. And again, I'm not here to tell you the answer is date non-black women. The answer is you all have to be ruthless about your options. Meaning whatever your options are, whatever you can maximize. And the key thing about self-improvement is to improve yourself because that gives you greater control over your environment or where you want to be. That gave you a better focus. And it's not just about making more money, it's also about gaining more time freedom. And this is what Glendon Cameron talks about. Yeah. Man, I appreciate that, man. I really do. Especially coming from you, man. For real. I definitely appreciate that. And I say that not because necessarily somebody got a whole bunch of subscribers. But like I definitely got respect for your content. I definitely see why you're where you are. Definitely. And then obviously, I need to really get in the fucking gym. I ain't even gonna front, but you know how it is. That shit ain't easy. As far as getting to where you at, like this just ain't. I don't have the same race pride regard. And what the thing is, man, I'm pro black. That's the thing. But what I'm not gonna do is tell people to fucking sacrifice themselves when here's the thing. I'm pro black. I'm economically pro black. You know, with all things being equal, I'm for black people being black with black people, and I'm going to promote that option. But see, what I also understand is if black men are given an option, all things being equal, they will choose. I believe majority will choose black women. But the problem is there's such an imbalance, and nobody really wants to speak to the imbalance. Well, what about black men? Well, everybody is saying black men ain't shit. Black men are the most homeless. Black men are the most in prison. There's a lot of things. Black men pay dearly for black men fucking up. It doesn't matter if it's our fault or not. That's what it is. The question is, but the problem is, and it's not even about, well, women need to pay too, but when you have women that are like operating outside of the level of common sense like they have, and granted this is an American situation, but when white people have the cold, we have the flu. We're 20 years ahead of them. They're just now getting into their crack era called fentanyl. So trust me, give them time, they're gonna be fucked too on the crystal meth and shit like that. But my problem is I hate really seeing sisters. A lot of y'all are done. A lot of y'all are washed and y'all don't even know it. Y'all really think, and you see it. And you see it. And the thing about it is, like, Steph just did a video with Deshaun Watson. You know, you think you all think that these dudes ain't paying attention to like Quavo? You think these dudes ain't paying attention to what's happening with Deshaun Watson? Niggas are stupid, but niggas ain't that stupid. You keep doing the same shit over and over and over again, motherfuckers are going to adjust. And that bullshit with Quavo, I mean not Quavo, that bullshit with Deshaun, all that's gonna do is force dudes to start thinking about alternatives. You already hear it with motherfuckers bitching about Instagram models. So the quality, so it's fucking, and you would think women would be smart to be like, okay, we got to protect the market. But see, they don't think that way because they don't build shit. They just happen to come across shit. So they just burn shit out. Until, like, it's the same thing with stepdaddy market. You would have thought women would have been smart enough to say, hey, we got to preserve the stepdaddy insurance program. But no, the women that were benefiting from it. But they didn't do that. They just go along with what they get until it changes. And what I'm telling y'all, and I'm not telling you nothing I wouldn't tell a black female. Look, I tell black women, y'all need to date out. Exercise your options. Because maybe if you all get a good understanding to where your fair market value really is in the general dating market away from black men, y'all come back a little bit more fucking humble. What do you mean black people aren't working? That doesn't make sense. I mean, if I had to like Asian, like if I'm gonna date Asian women, I'm gonna date Asian women a little bit of body. So you talk about Filipinos, a little bit of the southeastern Asians. That's just me. If I'm gonna go that route, typically, I'm more into Mediterranean women. If we gotta pick something outside of black, probably really, Dominican is probably what I really want. I'm talking about Dominican like black, more brown skinned Dominicans. But me, honestly, I don't have this, like, I don't really have I have like a range of preferences. I don't have this thing where it's like, okay, you have to fit. I don't really have a lot. I have profiles, but I want to see some of y'all got types. And it's like if it ain't your type, or y'all got shit where if it's a fat ass, y'all just let everything. Like some of y'all need to just stop being like that. Y'all put yourselves in boxes. I'm talking about men too. I'm not even talking about the women. Please, that like look, Russell Wilson's doing the shit he doing for a specific reason. Understand that that's not the norm. That's not the norm. And even if you Russell Wilson, most of these chicks are not Sierra. Sierra got out the game in her 30s, and or her like really at 30. Sierra wasn't a fool. You can tell by how fast she got with Russell and got a kid by him. She ain't an idiot. Trust me, the women know how to get out the game for their get out the game. They're not that. Well, Asian women. Well, Houston is known for being the most quad Houston has like the closest thing to like 25% Asian, 25% white, 25% black, 25% Hispanic. And Asia's Houston's the fourth largest city, so it's known for that. But I mean, the thing about it is what you have to understand, and this is what like the biggest thing I would say to what those two said: black men are 6% of the population. That means that it doesn't take a lot to absorb black men. So if you're in the top 25%, think about this for a second. If you're in the top 25%, which all you need is to make 50,000 to achieve that. Top 25% of a population that is the top six. What is that? What's the math on that, guys? That's 1.5% of the American population. Yeah, 1.5%. And you're dealing with white women that are like 33%. Think about it. We're not talking about fuck overseas. We're just talking about here. Don't even talk about all the immigrants that are starting to be let into the United States. Now, obviously, black women have those similar numbers too. And it ain't my fault. Like that's not on us to tell you why they not picking. Why they not pick. Why y'all don't have those options. And it's not about me saying, "Ooh, we got more options." That's not what it's about. But it's about, but for y'all to say some shit like the average man, and we know, like it's fucking stupid. Oh, that's interesting, Xanatos. Yeah, and the truth is, man, like y'all, cause y'all y'all talk all this shit. Like when it comes, like honestly, there's a lot of and I'm serious, like, cause one of the biggest things that had me really looking at Steph's channel was number one, I wanted to see what the content was about. Cause I mean, obviously, he works out and shit. So I was like, okay, what is he really talking about? Because I really haven't seen his content. Y'all know I never saw David Carroll's content until recently. I said, oh wow, this is some really good shit. This is really good 10-minute videos, nothing but facts. Obviously the receipts are there. He's definitely self-improved. But that's not that was cool, but that wasn't like the biggest thing that impressed me. The biggest thing that impressed me was when I was clicking on the links and I saw like the ebook and all. I was like, oh, so he got like funnels on his shit. Oh yeah. So he actually puts a little bit of internet marketing juice on his shit. And then his shit got built up before that. Obviously he built the following on his own, but monetize that, like how he's been able to like have the fun. That's actually a good model for a lot of people need to do. And again, it's not easy balancing kind of the red pill stuff versus the dating, like the dating stuff. And I'm sure that's made easier by, like, obviously he has receipts as far as lifting weights, all that, the people he's dealt with. And so that's a good model where a lot of people should aim at. Me, I'm just too fucking lazy to right now to really do all the uploads and stuff. That's not saying I get to that level, but even to organize my channel in that way. So I just do uploads, live streams, letting y'all have my thoughts. Well, I mean, Kay, I'm trying to understand what are you trying to get out of this conversation. It seems like you just want to be argumentative. Because I really don't have a problem answering questions, but and now we're at 206. That's no surprise at all from Houston. Yeah, and my thing is, I'm not here. I don't want to see people lose. That's not what I'm here for. But at the end of the day, facts are facts, and it's like you shouldn't really be disagreeing with a goddamn thing I say. In fact, Kaya, or one person you need to check out is Love Dorsey, and I know Black what you call it was like, man, fuck Love Dorsey, she's trash. Man, I would like you to see to make that case because she speak more facts than most of these niggas out here. Like straight up. Like straight like that. We have more women that had the mindset of hers, we wouldn't have a fucking problem. We really wouldn't. And I try to point out certain people so y'all understand, even though would I date somebody like her? Probably not. And that's not a knock on her at all. But and that's not a knock on her at all. I'm just saying. It's just, but would I love to do business with somebody with that type of mindset? That's a female? Hell fucking yes. First of all, I actually don't preach divesting. I'm glad you asked that question, and I'm gonna answer that, and then I'm gonna bounce off of this. I don't preach divesting from black women. That's not what I preach. When I say exercise your options, that does not mean from black women. I'm actually the person that came up with the term, well, not came up with the term, but popularized the term in this space, intercultural dating. So intercultural dating means date black women of other cultures. I am not for, oh, black men. I also came up with the phrase, don't go red pill for black women and only remain blue pill for non-black women. What I am about is saying, look, I'm for a liberal dating market, libertarianism as far as the dating market, because I believe that the only thing black women respect is them seeing you can do as good or better than them. They don't respect anything else. And the problem, and Danielle, one of the comments Danielle said is probably receipts. Was probably one of the best comments she ever said in this space was black women are not gonna ever respect black men unless a black man breaks up with them. And BGS, oh no, unless black men leave. And BGS has stated that black women don't respect the black man until they break up with them. That's the only thing you all respond to. You all really don't respond to talking. So why am I talking? I'm talking for the dudes. It really ain't for y'all to change. It's to build up awareness in dudes. Because as dudes become more aware and they become to act on more of their options, and acting on their options doesn't mean be lazy, don't improve, don't do shit. It's about, like, take Steph for example. Steph was like, and Donovan. Steph was here, now he's here. So it now he's, as far as money, y'all talk about body game, money, all that shit. You can make assumptions about how much he makes with a YouTube channel his size, obviously. So we can make some educated assumptions. So clearly he ain't hurting. My point is, if men lead themselves and they exercise their options, is that not what Kevin Samuel said? Men don't cheat, they exercise their options. And I'm also a big believer that black men need to separate sexual access and who they fuck from who they have kids with. A black man can fuck 100 white women, and if a black man has a kid with a black woman, then the only thing that really counts is who he had a kid with as far as his legacy. But see, black men are raised to serve women. Black men they're not raised to think about legacy. See, black women want to talk about colorism, but they don't understand. A black man doesn't know the difference between a black woman and a non-black woman because they're not taught about their legacy. Black men are not talking about, well, I want my grandkids to look like me, because they're not seen as that's important, because they are raised to be cute for a bitch. That's how most of these dudes are raised. And that's a big, and see, so a lot of that stuff comes back and bites you. So my thing is not saying, oh, black men, a white woman is better, because Clutch and all of them will tell you. I'll tell you, you got to watch some white bitches too, because y'all black women blitz. White women run zone. And if you're a dude where you're used to the blitz, you run that zone, it's about to be interception city. It doesn't matter. Their plays are a lot more complicated and longer term than what typically black women's are. Because black women just have a short playbook. Blitz, 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 blitz. And black men at this point have gotten used to that. So it's not about divesting. See, again, you're projecting. You said, see, that's what black women say. Oh, well, I'm divesting. I'm divesting. You're not invested. You're not invested in the first place. Like this idea, like you're not invested. There's not like women love talking about I'm a divest. That makes that you divesting makes it sounds like you are invested. You're not invested in these niggas. Your boys can't read. You're not invested in shit. You all already divested. In fact, black women divested or have been divested. Black women have been on their own shit. It's not a threat. My thing is just waking up the dudes to realize this ain't your community. You just here. So why do you feel you have all these burdens? Like we don't owe each other shit. The reality of the situation is there is no social contract amongst black men and black women. And if there is, I would ask you what that is. Ask you what is it that you tell me one thing that black women are doing for black men. And it don't even got to be black women as a group. What do you do for niggas you with? What are you doing that's really of value? Because we can name a whole bunch of shit men do for the women they're even pursuing, let alone actively fucking. You ask women, what are you doing? I'm me. But going back to my original point, I don't preach black men divesting. I preach black men exercising their options. Because if black men exercise their options, because here's the thing. Why we know we know most of what gets black men in trouble, what black men do, is based on sexual, their who they aim to fuck. And my thing is, as a black man, why would you create an artificial monopoly? Isn't that putting women on a pedestal? Yeah, that's worked so well as far as your respect level. Black women respect you the least and talk the most shit to you, yet black men date them and deal with them the most. Make that make sense. So the point is, by you exercising your options and you basically, and this is not to assume every black man has options. What I'm talking about is your job is what you can do, which is where the self-improvement comes into increasing that. And then the question is what you will do. A big problem with black men is black men can do a lot of shit, but the question is, will they do it? And they have this guilt that keeps them, and I'm talking about mainly upper millennials and Xers, that keeps them dealing with somebody. Me fucking another race of woman doesn't mean I have an issue with black women. Just like me only fucking black women doesn't mean I necessarily like black women more than any other group. Some of the dudes that do the most horrific shit to black women only fuck black women. In fact, I'd argue most dudes that do the most shit to black women, including white men and black men, only fuck black women. So this, but see, it's about servicing your ego. So when we say, well, is divesting the solution? The solution is us to have a social contract. And if we're not going to have that, well, I'm going to live my best life. Period. It's not, oh, well, I need to do something to make you come to the table. No, that's not how that works. Because what are you coming to the table to? Somebody is not grateful and somebody doesn't respect you. Somebody doesn't respect you, you do your own shit. The solution, and Clutch calls it indifference. That's on you. You need us more than we need you. And it's time black men understand that and stop fucking around hoping that they can alpha their way into having a black female deal with. The truth is, even the dudes that black women are sexually attracted to, they'll turn on. Go to a child support court and find out about that. OG Dansby said, does Kevin Samuel know he is fighting a winless battle, or is his ashes really on for profit? It's not. Okay, Kevin only is dealing with really elite black people. When he talks about high value men, he's talking about like the top 5% of black people, 10% of black people. So the rules for them operate a little bit differently than the rules for everybody else. So technically in his mind, his concern, at least for his channel, and this is what he said, is not every black person. His concern is the clients that he represents that are high value men. I mean, you hear Kevin asks black women, are you open to dating other races of women? He says that because he knows if you're looking for just a black man, it's going to be a lot harder for you to get a high value man. You're going to have to expand that out. And he also says most men that make more money tend to be race loyal. That includes black men. So I hope that answers your question. But Kevin is not here to save the community. That's not what Kevin's for. Now, if that's a byproduct of what he's doing, then I'm sure he's perfectly happy with that. Yeah, OG, you consider it pointless, but it's not. But that's not the only reason why he does it. And so I'm not really gonna go into explaining his shit. I mean, that is what it is. Like, what's her name? I'm gonna just say Kaya XOXO. I would tell a black female, look, you say, well, niggas ain't shit. I'm gonna be like, well, you need to date out. I've told black women this. What? What? Yeah. If niggas ain't shit, date out. And that's even if the only black men you're attracted to is niggas ain't shit. Well, maybe you need to date out. Find another store. That was my most viral video I've ever done. Find another store. Because niggas are not gonna not be shit. Niggas are not gonna stop not being shit because you saying it, clearly. So I have no problem with black women divesting. I think more black women should divest. Because the more black people that divest, the more we'll be real about what the situation really is. And stop this bullshit pretense, all this sexual politicking under being pro-black. Fuck that shit. I want everybody to put all their cards on the fucking table. So I'm all for black, and I keep saying black men need to start pushing black women to divest, because if they do divest, now they got to deal with the general market. So if they come back with a bottom shelf Brad or dude that's lesser than the black dude they could have got, because remember, we're talking about not just money, we're talking about height, looks, you know, and it's the same thing in reverse. But we always like to talk about black men fucking ugly white women. But the difference is, shout out to Uncut Dating, ugly white women make up for it in other shit. Talking about they gotta have bottomless throats and shit. There's some reason that nigga dealing with her. And usually black men don't date black white women uglier than the black woman that they could get. That's one thing y'all got to stop doing. It don't happen. Black men hold any woman to the same standards of black women they're willing to accept. Generally higher standards. And that's this idea that you could be a 7 black woman, a dude gonna get a 5, even with attitude factored in, is usually not true. Vern, black women that know how to interact with black men and don't have these issues with black men. And I don't know, Kai, I ain't saying she does. They don't have these problems. Because the biggest problems black women have is two things. Number one, they have this belief that they if they can't get a nigga that's like a top 1,000 nigga, and like here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you actually look at what a black man wants in a woman, a black man would be perfectly fine with a 6. Honestly, a 6. Like, black men are not out here talking about a bitch got to be a baddie or a dime piece. Yes, black men are willing to fuck them and want to fuck them. But this idea that that's not true. And you can see that in how black men select black women. Hell, Ramil did that video with that bigger chick. She wasn't an ugly chick, but that bigger chick, that dude crying that he married her. So that's another advantage that black men have over black women. And see, what black women get mad about is when dudes take that mentality and they take that to other races. Black men are not out here. See, this idea that the manosphere is full of niggas that can't get an 8, 9, or 10, and they got an appetite because of OnlyFans. That's bullshit. That's some shit motherfuckers like to say to make them feel good and to dismiss what the fuck we talking about. But one of the big and hidden advantages that black men have is It doesn't take a lot for black men. It doesn't take a lot for black men to be really satisfied. And by the way, that's a consequence of us being in a fucking gynocracy. That's something else that nobody really wants to talk about. Versus black women are the opposite. Black women are out here, they gotta have a perfect ass nigga. And don't act like, see, one thing Rebecca Lynn Pope never talked about, that nobody really talks about, is, and I'm not, the closest I've ever gotten to these spaces are like the pro black spaces, but I already know if there's a thought female space, a thought space There's got to be a gigolo space. There's got to be a space where niggas can do the Derrick Jackson shit or get in the gym and get buffed out, and then these bitches, these like like they got motivational posts or some uplifting, empowering posts, and these niggas, like one dude, he's a workout dude. His name is like Bully something, but he's actually in a marriage and stuff. But it's got to be room for these dudes, these women, like the gigolo space online. If the shit went online for if the shit went online for dudes, then it's got to work for if shit went online for women, then it's got to work online for dudes. It's just do. I got to believe that space exists, because women have more economics and income than they ever did. So, and just like how you see women dealing with strip clubs and stuff more, I gotta believe that that exists. I know that exists, even though I've never been to these spaces. I know something like that has to exist. You said, "Can I answer the first chat?" I said, "I did answer the first. I did answer it." What are you talking about? What do you think of? Okay. 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 No, my bad. Okay. I see what you're saying. And I appreciate the super chats. Absolutely. I'll be happy to answer it. You said, I answered the second. You said, what do you think about Ringo T talking points on Kevin Samuels and his approach being a scam because high value men don't want 90% of women that call in? Also, Kevin talks to BGS, so knows we live in a gyne. Yeah, Kevin lived in a gynocracy in his own personal upbringing. He says that. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. Look, I don't want to say all due respect and then start talking shit about Ringo TV Raw, but Ringo TV Raw is full of shit on a lot of shit. First things first, Ringo TV Raw is one of these niggas that he don't like to debate. He don't like to put himself in situations where he gotta really answer shit in real time. He don't like to do that. Not that I've observed. Now, I haven't observed a lot from him, but I've listened to a couple of videos here and there. And what annoys me about him is he's one of these dudes that like kind of likes his cake and eat it too. He likes to talk shit, but he likes to say, "Oh, well, something has some good talking points," but talk a lot of shit on the back end. And I've just never got around to really addressing what he says. But I don't respect a lot of what he says, because I think a lot of shit that he say is on some bullshit from a fundamental standpoint. So let's talk about what he says. Let's talk about what you said as far as Kevin. He says Kevin shit is a scam. What about what he says is a scam? Oh, well, high value men don't want 90%, 95% of the women to call in. That's not his job. He's not a matchmaker. Kevin has said that. He is not selling women on being a matchmaker. Now let's give you an example. Crystal and Kerrison sells herself as a black woman that can get white men to date black women. That's some bullshit. Now I'm not saying he's a fan of Kerrison. I don't think he is. I know, in fact, I'm pretty sure he's not. So I'm not trying to tag him with that. But my point is, Kevin is not a fucking matchmaker. Kevin is an image consultant. He says it's damn near every fucking show for the slow class. Not you, but you get what I'm saying. So as an image consultant, his job is to tell people about their image and how to maximize their. He's particularly a corporate image consultant, but whatever. His job is to tell people about their image as far as how to put themselves in the best position to possibly get the men that they want. Now, the purpose of those calls are really to articulate to a lot of everybody doesn't call. So, but you have 30, 20, 30,000 people watching. So there's a lot of women that watch it would never call. By those calls are really extreme, usually examples of what not to do. And this gives them a good point of data point. This is what not to do. And then what he says is typically if you do this is how you move the needle forward. And by the way, women that are attractive that never call his show has stated that they have gotten they've either saved their marriages. There's been a couple of women that made these videos, either saved their marriages or they have gotten engaged because of the advice of Kevin. They're not being paid to say that. That's what they're saying on their own. So this I so it's not it's a scam. It's that he doesn't know what the fuck the purpose of the show is. That's all that is. Kevin has never presented himself as somebody that's gonna match make these bitches with a high value dude. He has never, that has never once come out of his mouth as to why that show is. And Kevin doesn't, and that's not some shit that Kevin allows to kind of be believed to be out there. But no, to answer your question as far as why he lets some bitches call in and he doesn't, I call all these women bitches, whatever. But he doesn't like say, oh, you're too ugly to call. And by the way, Kevin has actually done that. Kevin has actually said, why would you have these opinions? You're not even in a conversation. He said that on many occasions, saying that high value men are not looking for certain women to call in, especially if they call in looking retarded. But here's the thing though. Would you consider, would you concede, this is what I would ask Ringo. Would you consider the woman that Derrick Jackson is with a woman that's atypical of what would get a dude that would be considered a high value dude? To the extent it will say Derrick Jackson is. No. But guess what? She's with that dude because she got him early. She got him early. Yes, he's cheating, but she wouldn't even be on the roster had she got him later. And is that not the advice that Kevin gives? Is that not the advice that Kevin gives? So no, Ringo likes to talk shit. And then he'll come up with some excuse as to the basis for which why he's talking shit. Yeah, I've listened to a couple of his videos enough to peep that with him. He like to say, yeah, man, the manosphere, they be talking shit and they don't like to hear differences of opinion. No, it's not about a difference of opinion. It's about your shit don't hold the fuck up under scrutiny. If y'all know anything about Invincible the comics, it's like we're battle beasts and we're looking for somebody that can disprove our points. And all these niggas try to step up to the plate and they get mad because, and I'm not saying he ain't look, every dude got some good points. I'm not saying everything he says is bullshit, but on that point and a lot of points I've heard him say, it's always some fucking angle. It's always some angle. It'd be like, this angle is bullshit. And he'll try to say, well, the manosphere. No, it's not. It is. It's your shit don't hold the fuck up. You can get mad at the dudes that are in the comment section and talk shit and be rowdy. Yeah, that happens. But the reality of the situation is, if you had a debate with like any of the heavy hitters in the manosphere, hell, if you had a debate with fucking me, the shit don't stand up. And the thing is, it's not that I'm an excellent debater and I'm the smartest nigga to ever live. That's not what it is. The thing is, I call it how I see it, man. Whether I like it or not. It's not about whether you think it feels good to say we're in a gynocracy. You think that, but that's how it is. I hope that answers your question. Let me see. Okay. I hope that answers your question satisfactory to your satisfaction. Okay, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, I saw that. I saw that Fresh and Fit pie. I listened to that. That shit was great. That shit was great. Like them, a lot of them bitches ain't even attractive like that to be talking the kind of shit they talking, man. These are some hoes that got some little bit of money. This is like these stupid bitches in the 80s that they fuck some niggas that deal dope back in the 80s. They got some fast money, so they feeling themselves. Look, man, I ain't hating. I ain't hating on their hustle. I ain't hating on their hustle. But let's get this right. And Steph talks about this all the time too, as far as shit is given to women. Like women don't gotta work for that shit. Their idea of working for something is getting surgery. But the reality of the situation is, you dealt with one dude, like Kevin's a millionaire, the other dude is probably a millionaire, and Fresh and Fit definitely has a great show, and they're on their way to making some good money. I don't know where they're at yet. I don't know what else they do. But they're definitely somebody that's obviously you're on their show, so they definitely have the credibility to talk some shit. And these dudes were actually trying to help them. And what did they do? They just had this, well, you can't tell me shit. It's like, bitch, if somebody would have hacked OnlyFans and turned OnlyFans off tomorrow, what the fuck you do? You wouldn't even be able to duplicate what the fuck you're doing in the cam model situation. And truth be told, trust me, I know women. When I say I know women, I know of women in the United States and outside of the United States that they have really maximized that shit. Like they know how to do their marketing shit right. They know how to monetize their stuff in different ways. They got different some of the Go look up like Violet Myers. Like she's, she did porn, but she did porn. Now she does OnlyFans. Now she does, and now she's in the gamer girl shit. Um, Go look up Sniper Wolf. I mean, she does there's not a video she does that ain't in a million. She's got 26 million motherfuckers. She's up there with, she's in the same conversation as Mr. Beast. So I know the different levels. Lana Rose, I know the different levels of females doing different shit. But but um but the thing about it is, this is why these chicks are dumb. And this is like what see, this is the one thing they don't learn from Cardi B. Cardi B is not one of these females. Like, one thing about Cardi B, she's not the smartest book in the shelf. But one thing Cardi B knows how to do is, if a man, she doesn't have this like built-in hatred of men. And you got to remember, Cardi B used to be a groupie. And yes, Cardi B has, stolen from men and drugged them. I get that. I get that. But Cardi B doesn't have this like built in, I just hate men bullshit. Even when dudes did not support her, like she may have wanted them to, when she was trying to come up in the rap game, and it had to be Love and Hip Hop that popped off, which women watch that, not dudes. She doesn't have this thing where I just hate men and I'm gonna compete with men. She knows men are a resource, and a resource that you probably, as a woman, you're going to get a better return on investment on, and you don't really got to do a lot. So if you just, treat them like individuals, now, yeah, she's done her dirt, but a lot of these women have this thing where they want to be men. Say what you want about Cardi B, she doesn't want to be a man. And a lot of these females are out here, they want to just get a man told so fucking bad, as Kevin Samuels said it. It's like, bitch, you ain't shit. Like, you ain't smart enough to where you're gonna save your money. You're gonna be like these other females. And by the way, dudes do this too. Athletes lose their money after 5 years. You're gonna be just like these chicks is gonna have a lot of money and roll and ain't have no shit. And I mean, these WNBA players ain't making bread like that. Y'all gonna be one of these old hoes that's doing the best you can to hold on as long as you fucking can, because that's the only thing you know how to do. Because that doing like the shit, OnlyFans is like selling dope. Just like how these niggas can't stop selling dope once they get a taste in their mouth for that fast money. These bitches can't stop doing what they doing. And I'm gonna tell you, that internet money is addictive too. That's why you got to give credit to people like O'Shea, man. O'Shea is about to finish his medical degree. O'Shea, he showed you how much he makes. I took some screenshots just so I can keep it as a reference. He's on one of his live streams. He makes like 20,000, and that's on his YouTube channel. That's not counting his cash apps and all that. I'm not pocket watching. That's what he showed. But my point is, he still took the time to get a degree because that was important to him to finish what he started. And there's a lot of character stuff in that. I got a lot of respect for that because I probably wouldn't do that. And I consider myself very careful. But I understand that was good for him. Legacy stuff, other stuff. Obviously, his dad was a nurse. I got a lot of respect for that. I got a lot of respect for that. I mean, that's why a lot of people talk shit about O'Shea. I'm like, look, there's certain things that like he's done that I know a lot of you niggas wouldn't do. Y'all wouldn't. So, yeah. No, they don't watch the WNBA. The WNBA is garbage. Like, you really want to get motherfuckers to watch the WNBA, you bitches need to be more attractive. You can say I'm a sexist, but that's even true for the females. That's true for the females. Because guess what? A lot of reason why these hoes watch the NBA is because NFL is they attracted to the dudes. But see, that don't get talked about. Not saying that some of them don't watch for the sports, but that ain't the only reason. Xander Will says, Kevin said once people stop wanting to see your feet and your G string. Yeah, absolutely. That's true. I heard that. He said, y'all ain't nothing but virtual strippers. And that's the truth. Look, get your hustle. I'm not hating on that, but don't come over here. And the thing about it is, these were not dudes that were not successful in their own right. Like that, and see a lot of these women, and like with white women, it's like, look, you're in the presence of black men, not white men. I understand you got that white patriarchy shit going on, but you know what? This is one reason why I got respect for even though I don't like her. What's her name? The chick that played Captain Marvel, because Captain Marvel, she made it very Brie Larson. She made it very clear. I'm talking to white men. I'm not talking to other men. I'm talking to white men, and most of these white bitches are too cowardly to do that. So what they do is they think they can get in front of black men and then talk that shit. It's like, no, y'all ain't gonna talk to y'all men like that, because y'all know what time it is. Y'all will wind up like Tommy fucking Lauren, where somebody's gonna give you a fucking phone call and you gon' recognize. Just like how you don't see black women really jumping, talking shit with white men like that. They know where their butter's buried. So all that bravado and shit, they won't do that to somebody they really believe can do something. As far as like taking resources away. And now they think they can say what they want to say because they like all these niggas. Your money comes exclusively from dudes wanting to get dicks getting hard. That's the only way y'all make money. I just got done talking to a lovely woman that is out here getting it in. I'm talking a black woman that was sitting there selling life insurance. And we were actually talking about life insurance. And she went to another house, and then she saw me outside. That's why I put it on mute. And I'm telling you, I'm telling you, man, she had a fat ass, yo, for real. She was from New Jersey, but her friend, but she lived here for a while. Something for the collection plate. Nah, man, I appreciate that. This is actually looking to be a record day today. That's why I'm keeping this going. But I'm supposed to respect the and look, I can have a casual conversation with a female that does OnlyFans. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, you do OnlyFans, fuck you, bitch. But once you start trying to belittle me, because you can't win on the facts. I mean, Kevin asked. He said, "So what do you? Oh, I got investments. You don't know? Okay, what are you investment in?" Now you ask a dude that. What a dude's gonna say? I got some stocks, some bonds, some mutual funds. Or they're gonna say Bitcoin. They'll say something that excites them. What she say? That's none of your fucking business, bitch. You ain't got no investment. Shut your stupid ass up, bitch. You probably don't even got insurance because you're dumb. Shut up. That's what that means. What she couldn't even say life insurance. Oh, that's that might be. I don't ask you for my shut up. You ain't got no investments. That's what that means. You could have said anything. My question is, do you even know? Okay, let's do this. This is what I would have said if I want to be the asshole. Okay, fine. You ain't gotta tell me. Name me three kinds of investments. Go. Name me three kinds of investments. And in my head, I'm gonna be like 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3. Because I'm thinking of how long it's going. Well, what are you trying to are you trying to be sexist? No, I don't think you know what investments are, bitch. Name me three kinds of investments. It's been 10 seconds. And you ain't saying shit. Don't fucking pull a sexist card in order to fucking bring up time. Name me three kinds of investments. Because not only do I think you don't got investments, I don't even think you can name. I don't think you know what the fuck they are. That's the asshole I would have did. It's been 20 seconds. What are they? Give me some. I don't have to. That's it. A bitch, shut the fuck up. Get your ass up. Go to the kitty table. And then she would have got up and left. Because the way she said that, I don't even think she even understands what investments are. And yet, boy, appreciate that, Kaim. Yeah, I appreciate y'all coming through for real. Seattle Sideshow, I could understand that, but you got to think there's levels to the manosphere. So I think the varsity league, I think the JV league is just gonna be that. But when you look at channels like Stephiscold, Fresh and Fit, O'Shea, mediocre tutorial reviews, um, Donovan Sharp. There's like levels to it. There's the red meat shit where the dudes are a little bit more accessible, like me, and then you got dudes that they built their shit up and their content was fire before, and that's why they are where they are. And you know, and I'll even throw Jap in there too. Even though Jap's technically more red meat, he's like at the top tier of that. But there's gonna be different levels, and that's a good thing. The fact that we can even so, but the entire but and what you'll see is a lot of dudes will start kind of like it's not so much they're disassociating themselves with the manosphere, but what they'll do is they'll be in their own orbit. Like Jada Black has been doing that. And that's not a bad thing. You want expansion. You want expansion. You want expansion. I want expansion. I want this shit. You want the Habish and the She's, whatever the fucking name is. You want expansion. And I think people got to take kind of the good with the bad. Yeah. Appreciate the super chats. Hey man, y'all trying to make it rain on a brother. Y'all trying to make it rain. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's my Cash App clutch. No, there is levels to the manosphere. I mean, I hate to say it like that because we know how you niggas are. Y'all start saying alpha, beta, varsity, JV, then y'all start crying, I want to be in the JV too. And then that don't matter. But yeah, I would say, man, if you, to put it at a low level, you got to have at least 10,000 subscribers. So that'll put like grown man business in there. MOT. You got MOT about anyway. Appreciate y'all, man. Roastmaster with the $40 cash app. Much appreciated. For my fat ass insurance program. I should have, dude. I almost took a picture of her from the back because she had, how these women, they had a corporate skirt that goes down to like, under their knees. But man, I'm telling you, trust me, cause y'all know I don't usually leave y'all on mute like that. Appreciate it, Xanatos, for the $10. Again with Malik, I appreciate that shit, man. Definitely. Yeah. See, one thing, Kaya, you need to understand is what makes me bad is I know the difference between the black women that got some fucking sense and the ones that's wilding out. So y'all be out here thinking, oh, well, y'all are all saying we all are bad. We already know all of y'all ain't stupid. The problem is you don't hear enough about the black women that ain't got a problem because the reality is the ones that do will beat their ass will go ape shit on them. She had, I will say this, she had like, I'm not like really a short, she had like that short hair curl thing going, and that's not, but like I said, I'm not, but she, yeah, you know, but again, man, she had a good personality. Like I said, I saw the ass first, then the person. I wasn't gonna say nothing to her because I was outside, um, talking to y'all. But she came over there. She was asking me about some shit, and then she said something real slick where she was talking about life insurance. I asked her for a card, and then she said, you ain't interested in life insurance. You ain't interested. So she didn't say she ain't interested. She ain't gonna give it to me, but she was like, you ain't interested, so I ain't gonna waste it. I was like, I said, okay, that's some ballsy shit to say, especially when you're trying to sell something. And then she said she was joking, and then that's when I put y'all on mute. I don't disagree with black men need to be high value, but high value, see, yeah, people like that. People get too caught up on that high value shit. She must see. I was with Azalea Banks, but found out she was crazy. Yeah, Azalea Banks. Yeah, I mean, she's mentally ill for real. So I don't even deal with that shit. Appreciate Let me hold on because I don't want to because I know y'all be getting mad when I Meech. Appreciate Meech Max with the $10 super chat. Long time listener, man. I appreciate that, man. As you know, I do what I do. I definitely appreciate the money. I ain't gonna act like I don't, but nah, but it's about putting this information out here. And like I said, it's about the people that's doing the right shit. Like I said, a purple pill space, it's gonna be hard to really refute a lot of the stuff we say if we can start pulling up like a pool of women that are successful has got receipts. And that's kind of like the next thing when it comes to expansion, I think. And a lot of dudes feel a certain type of way about that. I don't think it's as big of a deal as a lot of people like to make it. It's really not. Appreciate that $2 super chat, man. All super chats are appreciated. High value will never be the norm for most men. No, it won't. Do I think all dudes need to aim for that? Yes. I mean, you should, and I think the biggest thing with black men is I think black men as a group, we get started too late on shit. Like a lot of dudes don't really get hit they stride until they get into their 30s and really, well, I mean, yeah. So anyway, y'all, it's been an excellent stream. I did do 2 hours 46 minutes. I appreciate y'all. Let's get one more like so we can get at 100 likes. Let's make that happen. Um, I'm sure we will. And like I said, you know, but at the end of the day, people got to make deals, and that's true for black men. That's true for black women. Black men are definitely like the most. I don't want to say they're definitely the ones to negotiate. King Sigma just went live. Another bottom shelf Brad. Yeah, like I said, I ain't got no problem with y'all. If y'all like, I ain't got no problem with people having an opinion. You know, I ain't afraid. But like I said, with Ringo, my thing about Ringo, with what I've observed is he want to be one of these contrarian ass niggas, and it's like, yo, like if we go back and forth like in a civil thing, yeah, man. But the manosphere, like dudes always they put this shit on the manosphere, like the manosphere is supposed to be like this political organization, this saving motherfuckers, and it's like, nigga, are you doing that? Like for real? Like it just like the manosphere is a collection of black men. That's it. Stop trying to make motherfuckers. Oh yeah, man. Like say, like I'm gonna tell you, like I can't stand people calling people scam artists. That is not some shit that's like just some small shit. Niggas are, yeah, man, he's a scam artist. Da da da. He's scamming women. That's some bullshit. That's some bitch shit too. Nigga, he ain't offering. He offering. Do you understand how much that dude charged for consultations? He ain't offering them no. You act like the shit he offering is some shit he don't be charging people for. That's what kills me. Like they really be out here like he just. But see, that's the thing. People don't respect what black men do, man. Yeah, divorce court is mandatory viewing. No, I don't agree with raising the minimum wage $15 an hour because all that's gonna do is increase the robots faster. Anyway, y'all, it's been great. Like I said, make sure y'all, obviously subscribe to Stephiscold. I mean, I've been sharing this shit, but I'll definitely be sharing this shit more because I appreciate that $100. You know, um, yeah. Peace out. Check out the King Sigma Bottom Shelf Brad. And y'all know, y'all check out the community fucking tab, and I'll share the videos that y'all need to be checking out. Y'all know, as always, as usual, this is Edward signing off. Peace.